All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Average Overlanders podcast. I'm Jared.
And I'm Ben.
And tonight we got a special guest here with us, Cody Foster, or Xpedition America on the socials and all that fun stuff. It's without an E though, right?
Yeah, I just do it with the X because it's like X-Men or extra cool, I guess.
Yeah, makes for a cool logo.
Really, it was just the E one was taken.
It's already taken.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I actually started following you back in the day just because I'm a Land Rover guy.
No, you both love pain.
Yeah. Dude, it's a good pain though. It's a good
Hey, you had a
pain.
Land Rover too, so you know
I had
the
a
pain.
disco too.
I had a disco too. I love that thing.
I did love it. In fact, I saw one today driving back from Northridge, and I was like, damn, that looks so nice.
You pick them up cheap, man.
Oh,
You have to get the 04 though. The 04, you got to get a 2001 or earlier or an 04 because at least the 2001 still have the center diff lock. If you go to 02, they don't have the center diff
I had
lock.
a No2 and I had a center diff lock. Well, it was heavily modified.
Then you get transfer because the transfer case must have been swapped in. I would think so because they stopped like in the very beginning. So all the D1s they all had center diff locks.
Yeah.
And then when they went to D2, they put the same transfer case in from 99, 2000, and the beginning of 2001s, but they didn't put the linkage in.
That's what it was. He added the linkage. I remember that.
Yeah, you got to add the linkage in, and then in 2002 and 3 they stopped, and then 2004 they put it back in.
Well,
they tried to make it more soccer mom for a minute.
I know that I had a center diff lock. I also had front and rear ARBs.
Well, I think someone might have modified that one.
Yeah.
Like they.
I loved it though. It was great.
It's good. It's not the fastest pony in the show, but
Definitely not.
No, and
But
it drinks a lot.
drinks a lot.
Yeah, they're thirsty. And then you have, when you add all the crap that we throw
All the
onto
weight and
them,
everything,
yeah.
but it takes it like a champ.
Oh yeah, it's Safari Guard bumpers. Those things are heavy.
They're built for that shit. Dude.
Yeah. But what do you drive?
So I have a 2008 Range Rover Sport. That's my current platform.
Is that the supercharged one?
Nah, bro, I almost went. All right, so check it out. So Land Rovers are sometimes problematic.
Sometimes.
They have a history of being sometimes problematic. However,
Sometimes, probably.
I'm
Have a reputation.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that 4.4 that's in like the LR3s, bro, that engine's like bulletproof. That's solid.
yeah.
It's a solid, it's a solid setup. And I almost got a Range Rover Sport way back in the day before I got my LR3. But the problem was there was like no aftermarket parts or anything for it.
There's zero support.
And there's still no aftermarket parts for it. But after running the LR3 for like 10 years, I'm like, oh man, I love this thing. And I would get a new one. I would get another one if I could find one with low mileage, but I always wanted like a Range Rover Sport too. So, and it's the same, below the skin, it's the same thing. The suspension, the drivetrain, everything's exactly the same.
Yeah.
So, yes. And the 4.2, which is the supercharged version, is just, the 4.4 is the 4.2 board over. But I'm like, it'd be nice to have the extra 100 horsepower, but I'm not racing anybody.
Yeah, but you gotta push the wagon, dude. That thing's heavy.
It's got 300 horse. It's enough to get me where I need to go. And I just didn't want the extra. I go way far out, a couple hundred miles, and there's no support. And I just said, there's one thing spinning at a high rate of speed that
More things to go wrong.
Yeah, more things to go wrong.
Or more fun to have.
Well, I'm never in a hurry when I'm on trail.
No, I mean,
I get out there. I'm usually driving slow regardless.
And I came from a D2, which that thing was. You know what I mean? So my expectation level is very low.
Those things have like what, 200 horse?
Yeah, on a good day, downhill with a tailwind, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I saw you too. You posted you said something about your LR3 had more interior room than the Range Rover?
Bro.
Really?
Once again, I love the Sport. It's nice. I like the look of it and everything, but I guess they think people don't need cup holders. I don't know.
Really?
What yeah, it's got like one cup holder. Or it's got two, one for the passenger,
Where are
one
you
for the
supposed
driver.
to put your cappuccino?
Yeah, I need a spit bottle, I need a beer, and I need a water, and I have no options.
Oh,
way.
man. Not in your doors?
No, they don't put one in the
No
doors.
pocket door? Yeah.
No, the LR3 has it in the door. It has one up here, and then it has like two in the
they're
middle.
considered luxury vehicles back, obviously we're buying older versions, but
Well, I used to have a Nissan 300ZX.
Nice.
I love that car.
Fair Lady
Yeah,
Z.
Fair Lady. I think it didn't have one cup holder in it. So I think
but that's a sport car.
Range Rover
it's a
Sport.
Range
So I
Rover
think
Sport,
there's
I
Nissan
guess.
Maxima with 2 doors.
yeah. So I think they kept with the thing that people don't like beverages in these cars, so
Fuck
or they
that.
give one beverage option. That's it.
That's all you get.
Dang.
And it's so that is I would say, I mean, it's a small, gripe, but however, it's still a gripe. And then the ass of it is not as big because the 3 is that step up.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
stadium
right.
seat.
Right. Yeah. In the back. So whereas the Sport, it has a slope back. So you lose a lot more than you think you do.
Oh, the headroom and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's just even like the back, the whole
area.
cargo area in the back is, it's a foot shorter almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I love the LR3. I contemplated getting one for a long time. Isn't that
solid,
when Ford
man.
used to own them?
Yeah. That was in Ford. Yeah, Ford owned them.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, but yours looks good though.
Yeah. It looks, I love it. I like
no.
the look of it. It's just, a little bit of cargo space you lose, but I mean,
Yeah, you get a roof rack.
get a roof rack. I put everything in the roof rack anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to get creative,
You got creative.
Oh, I got super creative. Find a strap and shit everywhere.
exactly. Yeah, I'm thinking about like doing the molly on the outside, like
just-
riveting things on. Yeah. That's my next phase.
Yeah.
I'm choking on my drink. I'm gonna die. Yeah. No, I was just about to say, as is Overland, he has those like
geez.
Milwaukee boxes that he has like mounted on the back. Was it the pack and play? I call them pack and play. That's
The
like
red ones,
that's like a
right?
little
Yeah, yeah.
kids thing.
But there's like quick disconnect and stuff, and like he's got one like a medical one. He's just got
Shower one.
one
Got
of the
cooking one.
Yeah, just attaches it as he needs it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm always concerned about this. The only my downside, like mounting on the back windows, would be I scrape a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you're
And
making
I think I
yourself
would
that much
peel,
wider.
Yeah, peel it off on a tree or something. That's the beauty of those things. The turning radius is like a Mini Cooper. It's freaking tight, man.
Yeah.
It turns really tight.
Probably better than my Mini Cooper. My Mini Cooper does not have a good turning radius because I have those big tires.
The Sport wheels pretty well then too.
I can tell the
Did
difference.
you mess with the suspension and all? You did upgrade it at all?
So my LR3, I used to have the stock air suspension on it, and I ran that I got it with 40,000 miles on it.
Oh, you left the air suspension on?
To about 130,000. I left the air suspension on the LR3, and then it just it kept being one thing after another, and it just bugged me. Then one day I was like, Ed, swap this damn thing out.
Yeah.
So I put the coilovers on it, whatever you call them, and but the problem was even with the 2-inch heavy duty springs, it rode like normal ride height. And then there was an option where you have these spacers you can put or SYA kit that
It's like
goes
a puck spacer.
Yeah,
Right?
well, yeah, it's the same concept, but it's more. It's got like it's built up, but it's not solid. But it goes on. It's supposed to go above your air suspension in case your air suspension drops. You don't. You're not stranded.
You're not dragging.
You're not. Yeah, your tires are not pinched up in there, right? So I stuck those above the heavy duty coils, and it made my LR3 like big. It was good. So I rocked it for a while. So I still have the air suspension on the Sport for now.
That's like one of the things I heard people swap out right away.
Yeah, but I like living a little dangerously.
Hey, I got air suspension on the Tundra now, so
Yeah, true.
just for extra weight.
Well, you get that Firestone airbags. I mean, you have
No, it's
not
not
stock
all.
suspension, but you have the Icon Stage 9 or something like that, right?
Yeah, it still runs.
You just
on
have
shocks.
the normal springs, but for the extra weight, you put in there
for
Firestone
the
airbags.
for the camper.
Yeah, for the camper,
Yeah.
so I had to do something. Yeah,
Yeah, but the beauty of this is like if he takes the camper off, then
can
he
dump
can
the
actually
bags.
just dump the bags, and then he'll be back to normal again.
Oh, that's rad.
yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
somewhat adjustable.
Yeah, but
I
do you
gotta
still
get some
have
switches and stuff. That way you can press the ladies, go 3-wheel motion.
Do you still have your LR3 or did you sell it?
I still have it. The cats
you
went
kept
bad,
it.
bro. The cats are bad.
Oh, nobody stole your cats?
No, I'm parking it in shady neighborhoods all the time, hoping someone would take them. But the cats are bad. Yeah,
Really suckers.
yeah. I'm like, come on, man. You're stealing everybody else's. Steal mine, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the cats for those things it's insane, like $7,000 or something.
Dude, they're stupid
Yeah?
expensive.
I'm like, I'm not paying $7,000.
You could like buy
more
a
than the
whole
car's worth.
buy
Yeah.
a car and just take them yourself. Yeah.
If
How many miles do you have on it now?
It's $170.
Oh, that's not bad. Well, I mean,
That's high, but it's not bad.
It's not
yeah,
bad.
that's what I mean. Yeah, it's
but
still
it's
got
like
some life in it.
$7,000 for cats. That's
yeah.
kind of like it. But I thought about using it for a parts truck because I have a new starter on it, a new radiator within like 30. I think about just using it as a parts car.
the swapping stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, swapping stuff as I need it.
Find a wrecked one, even if it has like 120,000 miles. If it's a wreck, just buy the cats.
That has been one of my million options. But the problem, like I was telling him earlier, I freaking hate working on trucks. Just not because I don't mind working on trucks. It's just it eats up every bit of my free time, and I'd rather be out playing outside.
Yeah, it's a giant time suck.
Dude, it does. Even like the stuff I do, I'm like, okay, there goes that weekend.
Yep.
Dang.
So
yeah, like this weekend, like I wanted to go out. Like we were talking, like it's been dumping snow here in SoCal, and like I want to go and see it. But like this is supposed to be my work on the truck weekend.
Exactly. And like the last 2 months, this last 2 months, you couldn't do anything because it was raining every weekend. So
I couldn't get shit done. So
I was driving with a 15, and I look to the right, and I see the Big Bear Mountain and everything.
Oh, it's super
and the
low.
Snow is super low on the mountain. I was like, dang, that's like 100 feet above where I'm at right now.
I think it got down to 1,000. I want to say they were saying 1,000 feet, which that's crazy.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah,
it snowed right behind my house, right? Because I live like in the hills in Temescal Valley. It was like maybe, I don't know, a couple hundred feet above where we're at in the house. Yeah,
a nice little dusting. Yeah, no, yeah. Adam Twig Rig was trying to get me to go up last night, and I couldn't pull it off.
Just he tried to get me to go
school
too.
And work night. You know, I just couldn't pull it, but. I wish, it'd been fun.
I think I'm gonna load up the wife and kid after this. I think we're gonna drive north until we can't drive north anymore. That's the point.
395.
395, yeah. Go towards Bishop. Supposedly the 395's closed at some point.
I'm sure it is.
You gonna find that edge?
There's I mean the pavement road's closed at some point.
Yeah. That's when you find
another
offshoot somewhere. Yeah.
Do you have chains, by the way?
Is the CHP listening? Yes, I have chains.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have a lot of chains. I carry them with me at all times.
There you go.
I mean, chains are really they do work if it's really icy. Man, there's been certain times where I kind of wish I've had chains because as soon as you get that freeze and melt, and then you're on the side of a cliff and it's downhill and there's a turn at the bottom of the hill. You're wishing you had chains.
You like that grab right now.
I guess I'll dump it into the hill to slow me down. It's like you're playing.
Look for the softest spot to land. And
Jared sent me on Instagram this morning these like German engineered chain things that like lower out of the car, and they like it's almost like a street sweeper is what it looks like. They spin and they hit right by the tire.
Okay.
Yeah, and it basically makes it so that you have chains, essentially.
It's like this chain that's like...
Oh, like it hits the road in front of the tire?
Yeah, it hits the road and the sidewall
they
tire.
Lower down in front of the rear tires, and the chains just start spinning.
Oh, okay.
And I guess I don't know if it makes contact with the tires, but it's almost like the tires always have like a chain to roll up onto.
Scores the ice, maybe. That's the idea.
I'm like, that's kind of...
It like sweeps it away. Like cleans it. It kind of like pre-cleans it.
Yeah, and it's like built in. There's like a switch. I was watching like a video, and like it's just a switch on their dashboard. They hit the switch, and these things just lower down, and they start.
It's wild.
Yeah,
it's not something I would keep on.
Like you were saying, it'll probably fuck up your sidewall. Blow your tires after a while.
Roll rocks everywhere.
Yeah.
If you're on the side, walking by, and all of a sudden these things just kicking fucking rocks up at you.
Well, it was meant for the 18-wheelers, accorting to the video. So like the big rigs that they wanted to like slow down and stuff. It gives them a little bit more grip. But their tires are like way beefier than regular tires.
And even chains nowadays are like way kind of like when I was a kid, it was like you had to like lay the chains out and then hopefully drive the car over them and wrap them around your wheel. Now, like you can just strap them around in certain areas, like around the wheel and the tire.
Cables, they got everything.
They have a bunch of different options.
Yeah.
The problem is you got to have, also my clearance on my tires is, I would say, not much.
Yeah.
So chains, if you don't have any clearance and then you put chains on, that's going to be another, quarter inch, half an inch, depending.
Yeah.
Our buddy, he's got a 4Runner and he bought chains for his, but he had, what was it? His issue? He had the wheel spacers on, he took the wheel spacers off or something like that. But when they were off, he had like new spindles. I don't know, something. But so the chains were hitting.
Right.
So he had to put spacers on just so he could use his chains.
Wow.
Probably the backside, maybe. Yeah, I guess because of the inner side of the wheel well. I'm guessing.
I think it was like hitting his spindle or something like that on his front. And he's
I can see that. Yeah, because sometimes if you look,
he had barely enough clearance.
It's tucked in there really tight. Yeah.
And then once you had that chain that wrapped around the wheel, he had those kind that kind of like they don't go around like the circumference of the wheel. They go kind of like you wrap it through your wheel and then over the tire,
like little cleats or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So he had those style, and I guess it was just catching every time on the spindle. So he's like, "Fuck, I got to put spacers on the front, and then like now I'm gonna have to put spacers on the rear."
Who is this? Is this Eric?
Yeah, as his Overland.
Oh man,
yeah,
bummer. He also has 35s on a 3rd gen 4Runner.
Yeah, he stuffed those fuckers in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have Any for the Tundra, I mean, I guess they got to make them for 37.
I mean, they make them, but I mean,
They got to be expensive as shit, dude. Probably like $500.
at least.
But what about those tires? I mean, I have the tires, the Falcons with the little extreme
snowflake on there. Yeah.
If you have the what do you call them? Yeah, the one that has the snowflake on them. Those are made for ice.
But that's only up to like right now. Like there's like the R1, R2, R3 rating, snow rating for the road conditions, and I guess like R3 is what they're saying like right now in Big Bear. And even if you have the snowflake on your tire, you still have to have chains.
It's a straight sheet of ice, man.
Yeah, no,
it's a straight sheet of ice.
Doesn't
it's like driving
fucking
on
matter.
ice. Yeah, it doesn't really matter unless
you got like the metal spike.
because I've never done it, but the ones where you screw them in.
Screw them in. Yeah.
That's like some Minnesota shit right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I was talking to some guy on the internet, and he was saying that I was asking him, like, 'cause I always see the cleat option. Like, is that really a feasible thing? He goes, bro, they fall out all the time. It's not really it's not as good as you think it would. Like, I was thinking it'd be perfect. It's like put cleats on your tire, you just freaking jam out and you're good.
Yeah, it's kind of like the football cleats, same idea.
I got some tech screws. I'll just zap a few of those into my tire and I'm fucking good.
That's what, dude. I had a screw in my tire when last time I went out to Arizona.
Yeah, it helps.
And I spit on
Extra
it.
traction.
It wasn't leaking air. I'm like, bro, it's just traction, man.
Yeah, you screw them into the lugs.
The
on
lugs.
Your,
Yeah, you just screw them in, bro. As long as they're short enough to be fine.
Yeah, get little short ones. Yep.
Yeah,
There
got
you go.
some little tech screws. Zap them in there. I'm good.
That's what a big
Don't
bear.
take my advice.
So
people.
someone try that out. Let me know.
Yeah. DIY.
Yeah.
Internet doesn't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, TikTok or whatever, fucking hacks or something. Yeah.
That's actually a good idea. Just I have a bunch of tires in my house. I'll just screw them in and act like that's the thing.
Those are my snow tires.
CHP looks at it like,
I mean, they're grade 8. They're good. They'll hold.
yeah, right.
Enough for one trip, you know?
Oh man. Well, I mean, your Rover, you said it was what, 08?
Yeah, 2008. So the reason I got that Rover was because it was the same as my LR3. So when you start going through so from 2005 to 2009, it's the same platform under the skin. When you get to 2010, that's when it swaps to like the 5.0.
That was the facelift.
Yeah, it looks pretty similar. The front's a little different. The interior is different. However, that engine is a lot more horsepower. And the supercharger is insane, the amount of horsepower. It's like 500 or something at the wheel. It's
Hell
crazy.
yeah.
But that thing blows. It'll be from zero or hero to zero before you know it. And then, the juice ain't worth the squeeze, man.
Nah. Yeah, like you said before, like I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere.
No, bro. Dude, Earth's been here for a billion years. I think it'll wait on me.
I can't afford the gas. Oh, shit. What's the mileage in the Range Rover?
Before I put all the accoutrement on there, it was like 18 to 20. And now I'm rocking like 12 to 14-ish.
And you have to take
still not too
91, right?
Yeah, 91.
Oh,
That premium life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that because I was like, oh man, I wish I could put 87 in here. And it's like, no.
I mean,
91.
I think it's got variable timing and stuff, so I think you can make up for it. I've run 87 because I had no option before,
yeah, there's nothing else out
there.
there.
Yeah, and it runs fine. But I think the overall, the way it burns cleaner, I guess, too, because it's a higher octane.
Yeah, throw some fuel additive in there. You're good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, call it done.
Yeah, Liquid Molly.
Has some liquid moly fuel additive. Yeah, right. No.
Yeah, we just had my buddy on who works for Liquid Molly, and pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah.
You know, if you
What's it do?
Well, they have a lot of different products,
engine
but like
treatments and all those.
Okay, right on.
they do engine flushes. They do engine treatments, additives for your oil, for gear oil, for even fuel systems and everything. So yeah, it's really high end stuff. It's all made by the Germans, so
Yeah.
The Germans.
The Germans.
Performance. Yeah.
It's very high performance.
You're over there with a British vehicle. They put some bubble gum on it, and they're like, it's good enough.
We're good.
Some
Gum on there.
She'll fly.
All right.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. It definitely teaches you not to sweat the small things. It's like, check engine light. Nah, that's all right.
nothing.
It runs fine.
British.
Yeah.
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 Wheels still on, we're good.
It was funny because like when I was telling you like how my my 4-wheel drive went out on the Tundra, and like I had more lights on the dash on my Tundra than I did on my Land Rover. I had
just
there
that?
was, like I had like the 4-wheel drive, the low, the wheel sensors were flashing.
Well, it was all
the
your wheel
traction
sensor,
control,
wasn't it?
Like everything was flashing. Yeah.
Your ABS light, your everything.
You just ignore that. I mean, just put a little electrical tape over that, or a sticker over that.
Just give yourself a little more lead time. ABS is.
Did you tell them what shirt I got you for Christmas?
Oh yeah, it's just like a Christmas tree on your, but it's all like check
all the
engine
lights.
lights for a Land Rover. Yeah, it was perfect. Yeah.
That's when the Rover actually worked before it died.
Yeah, when she was still good. So I'm gonna rebuild her and once we're done with the building up the Tundra, and I'll probably give it to my daughter when she's 10. So I get 6 years to fix it up, and she loves that thing.
Yeah, they're nice. I love them too.
Yeah, so we can, that way she'll have something to wheel with us, and we'll take that to trails just because it's a little bit smaller.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to fit, and then with the straight axles and coils, it does really well with not having like super big tires on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just don't droop too hard.
No. Oh yeah. Well, no, I got the cone dislocation cones now.
Oh, there you go.
I'm good on that.
I think I saw that
experienced
video.
that.
Yeah. Your shock busted or something.
Yeah. That
Dude,
was fun.
you and Matt's
both.
shocks.
He had a D2 and it broke on the same trip.
He had a
out of
D1
Kofa.
as well.
Did you just make
Oh
yourself
no, that's right. He what's his name had the
Yeah, the D2 was the Kalahari, which was
the Kalahari.
I'm bad with
I'm
names.
so bad on it. Yeah.
God, Matt and what's his name? Lawrence.
Lawrence.
There you go. I remember his name.
Yes. Good job. Good job.
Yeah, that was a good time. We need to go back out to Kofa, dude.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I don't know if I want to take the Tundra out there because it's so big. Everything.
Dude, I was dragging my brand new ZR2 on it.
Yeah.
those full size trucks. I say the same thing. Like, I don't want a full size because I'm worried about it fitting on the trails. But I mean, I've done plenty of trips where people have the full size Dodge. What do you Rams or what do you call them?
You just can't be worried about pinstripes, and I mean, it's going to happen.
Just get sliders.
Yeah,
with
I
the
got
kickouts,
sliders,
and
we're
then
good,
that'll fix any kind of
major damage.
Yeah, major damage. That's it.
And then the rest is just cosmetic, just like some scratches here and there, whatever.
Yeah, scratches are where it's at.
Yeah.
But are you even
They're badges of
overlanding?
honor.
Are you even overlanding if you're not getting like some scratches? I mean,
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
It's only the first scratch that hurts. All the rest are easy.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
It's the first one that.
Yeah,
You're like,
it's
right,
over
there it
now.
is.
That was.
Oh yeah, you just had that video. Oh, you got some good scratches on yours.
Oh,
What color? What color is your Range Rover?
It's black.
That was the color of my Land Rover. I was black as well.
Yeah, my D2 was black as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely looks like I got to fight with a bunch of cats. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, the white one, like you can't even. It scratched the shit, but you can't even tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, it's only. I'm worried about the 15-foot appearance. From 15 feet, if it looks okay, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Good from far, far from good.
That's it, bro. let's get in a photo from a ways off.
Have more whiskey. Walk closer.
Yeah. Let it blur a little.
Yeah. It all blends.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, I really like the Range Rover. Like I've always liked the P38s. I mean, reliability aside, but those things are awesome. The Range Rover Classics, I had an opportunity to buy Gold Member. I don't know if you know that one. It's like a famous Land Rover or Range Rover. It was a Range Rover Classic, and I don't know if it was the long wheelbase or not, but it's like kind of like forum name was Gold Member because it was gold.
Right.
Okay.
And it was really built, and I could have bought it for like $4,000.
Oh, that's a steal, man.
Well, back in the day, this was like 2012, 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, they were going for dirt cheap.
Yeah, they were giving
Now,
them
good
away.
luck. You
They're
can't
like,
find 'em, yeah.
please pay me and take this thing.
I keep finding. I find like these deals because I was looking around. Maybe I'll just buy like another disco and I'll just pull the motor and throw it into this one. Because you should be able to find. I find like deals like $4,000, same deal, but they're like all on the East Coast.
Yeah, but then they're
all
probably rusted out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the problem.
I sold my D2 fully built. Like I said, front rear ARBs, Safari Guard bumpers, South Down skids, like all aluminum skids, like all this work done, roof rack. I sold it for less than $7,000. It had 80,000 miles on it.
Exactly. I know, right?
Yeah, it was terrible. I had brand new tires, just changed out all the wires and spark plugs, everything.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
you never get your money back.
Yeah, I know. And then if I was to sell it like 2 years ago in the height of the Overland thing, I could have got like almost $30,000 for it.
Yeah, easily, right?
Insane.
People are paying stupid money for things. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping this economy crashes.
So you can score some deals.
Score some deals when I'm poor because I lost my job too.
Yeah, because I have no money to buy anything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Already, I saw an article today that Brandon sent me.
Yeah.
GM is actually limiting their production on their new Silverados because they don't want them to sit on dealership lots. And it's like an indicator of the economy to come.
Have they figured out the chip shortage yet?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know there was like lots and lots of vehicles
huge
without
thing.
missing chips.
But
yeah.
for the last like 8 months, it's all just been artificially inflated so that the dealerships could make more money.
Right.
Yeah,
all it
yeah,
is.
they're just sitting on it. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a legit chip shortage, but then they fixed it, and then dealers were like, "Man, there's a lot of
making
money.
a ton of money right
Everybody
now."
just shut your mouth. There's still a chip shortage,
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah.
make some more money." And nobody said anything.
Yeah.
Well, like when supposedly too, Carvana is supposed to take a crash, and when it does, they're gonna dump all these
it's already
used cars.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once they, everybody
CarMax.
wait till they fail, and then we'll just swoop up all their used cars they had on stockpile.
Well, there was I forgot what city it's in, but Carvana had their vending machine car thing.
Yeah, Escondido, they have one. Yeah.
That building's for sale, like one of them.
That'd be rad.
There's one on the 55 too, I think, going towards like Newport.
Yep.
Yeah, they got a couple. Yeah.
There's like a broke down Buick at the top. Or something.
Right. Exactly.
Definitely not a LeSabre because those LeSabres are awesome. I just saw somebody posted like this whole video about how LeSabres were like some of the most like reliable vehicles.
Really?
And nobody,
LeSabre?
yeah, the old LeSabre, all the old people got them.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, but they're like bulletproof. So I might get a
Thanks.
LeSabre and off-road it because
There you go.
ridiculous.
Right. Something different.
my grandfather used to have a LeSabre.
Really?
Yeah, like he used to drive like a bat out of hell in that thing.
Just floating.
He was a fighter jet pilot back in Nam, and so now
okay.
he's like got a LeSabre, and he's like thinking it's an F5, F4 Phantom.
I'm guessing was that French? It's like the sword, isn't
Yeah,
it?
sword.
Wouldn't that be the sword?
Yeah.
So like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Do you
right.
think?
Tip of the spear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, tip of
What
the
do you
spear.
drive? I got a fucking sword, bro. What do you got? Oh man. So Range Rovers and LeSabres.
Yeah, dude. That's the way of the world.
Oh man.
What's all the stuff you're doing with the Sprinter vans? Is that part of the Xpedition Academy, or is that
No,
separate?
it's a separate thing. So the Xpedition Academy, I started that maybe 3-4 years ago now. That was just like teaching about recovery aspects and some driving techniques and a lot of trip planning, because I do a lot of I call them, once again with the X, the ROX, remote overland expeditions, right?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah,
because
'cause
it sounds good.
the idea is you think you have to drive to Australia or South Africa or Africa in order to explore. There's tons of Southwest is huge, man.
Oh yeah,
We got way more diverse, terrain.
in the U.S.
For sure. And so we've done trips from planned a route from Mexico to Canada, and so far we've made it from Mexico all the way up to the top of Nevada, where Oregon and California and Nevada meet. So we've done the whole thing, and it's like 1,650 miles, and only about 30 of it's pavement. The whole thing's dirt.
Is that like following the whole Pacific?
Crest Trail.
No. So it was my own route.
Okay.
Yeah. So the BDR shows they have a lot of good trails,
Yeah.
but they use more pavement than I like. So if there's I want less than 10 miles ideally at the whole thing, and you can find if you work around it. So, it goes up from Mexico through like Glamis area, and then you go up to across the Mojave, and then it ends in Vegas, like to the west of Vegas, and then from Vegas you cut from the Vegas all the way up to the northwest corner, all dirt. You cross like 7-8 mountain ranges and go.
Rad.
Yeah, it was
You don't
rad.
pass Area 51.
Yeah, that was a big thing. So when I was planning it, you have to look at 4 or 5 different maps, and I just put a big red, square over the area, and you have to either have to go way to the west or the BDR goes to the west, and I went to the east around it.
BDR. What's that again?
It stands for back.
Backcountry or back. Oh wow,
Some
dude.
roads.
You got me on it, dude. I literally just watched a thing on it too.
Backdoor roads.
Back Discovery route.
Yeah, back Discovery route.
Yeah.
Yeah. So BDR, they have a bunch of trails where you can find that are pre-mapped out.
There's a bunch of them too. There's like a West Coast one, but then there's one along the East Coast. There's a BDR or something. There's a few different BDRs, I think.
And we're lucky out here in the West because there's a lot of BLM land and government land out here that you can go. Whereas the East Coast, you run a lot of private property. Even like Texas is a huge state, but it's like 95%
All
private
ranches.
owned.
Yeah.
We got a good out here. We got trails for
I know,
days.
man. So I'm probably trail miles in this area. I say 15, 20,000 miles. I'm probably done trails on this area easily, and not have to take pavement.
Have you ever done the Pony Express?
Parts of it, not the whole thing. So the Pony Express
That's
cuts.
one I want to do.
Yeah, it cuts through Nevada too. There's a good. Nevada's crazy, man. It's nothing out there. There's Reno and Vegas.
Gas.
That's part of the trail planning side, bro. You have to. So when I'm like, I'm going to drive across the entire state of Nevada on dirt. So that's my original thought, right? So I'm like, okay, well, you need gasoline. So then I just plot. I pick like a direction, and I just plot all the gas stations out that are in that area, and then figure, okay, if I drive from here to here and I can hit gas. And then the thing too is you got to have a backup gas station, because I've been somewhere where the gas is out.
Yeah.
And then we have to drive another 50 miles.
I've seen where we can only give you 3 gallons because we got enough for everybody.
So you plan all that. So once you put the gas stations down, you put all your points of interest down, and then you start connecting routes to get you to those things and dump you out where you don't have to drive, 50 miles. It just dumps you out at the gas station.
So, like, what do you use to plan trips? Is it like Onyx or?
That's a variation of things. So, Onyx is good for information wise, because Onyx, what they did was they took all those, those 4-wheel drive books you used to buy at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
So they bought all the information from those guys, and they plugged it into
digital.
They made it digital. So instead of having to pull up a map and then pull up the book and then cross reference where it's at, you just click on it and it has the same information, right? So it's good for research purposes. The only downside for me for Onyx is they only have one map option, and if you look enough maps, you realize all roads aren't on all maps. And if you go off the map they use, you'll come across forks in the road where you won't know where this road goes.
Don't they have like the premium one, and then they'll even give you like landowners information and stuff like that?
Yeah, so they'll give you which is the good side. They'll give you the landowners information, so if you're on private property or BLM land or like national park and all that stuff. But it's one map layer. So I usually use like 4 or 5 different maps, just to use like historic maps to find some POIs, and you'll use just different, like just park maps versus. Man, there's a bunch of different maps.
Yeah.
And because you'll have roads that will be on one map and it'll be at a fork, but you have to swap over to like my second map to see, okay, this road goes out here. Because a lot of times you're doing those, like I'll plan it out where I need a week to make from here to here. And as you're going, you might have to update and your route. And I'll use a big paper map for that, which is like an atlas one I use. And I'm like, okay, this is the direction I can go.
Paper maps, dude.
And okay, I can take this here, and then I cross-reference on my tablet with I use Gaia. Because Gaia has 75 different maps on it, and then I plot it out on there. Then I take that way. That usually seems to be the best. But for the research purposes, you have to use, if you want to do it. I'll try to be kind of thorough. I find my POI, my point of interest I want to go to, and then I use Google Earth and I zoom in on it. I'm like, that looks cool. I'm like, all right. And then I see
a good way to find things. Just start looking around.
Yeah, you just look around. You're like, okay, there's a body of water in the middle of nowhere. Let me see if there's a road to get to it.
There, yeah.
Yeah, and then you start cross-referencing the Google Earth with the maps you have, and then it's okay. You almost plan it in reverse. Like, how can I get from there back to like civilization?
Yep.
And then you start connecting it that way.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, I've played around. Like I went and got all the different apps and stuff like that. Gaia wasn't as user friendly for me.
It's not user friendly. Well, it's not as user friendly.
More of a learning curve, I guess. To it,
maybe. More of a learning curve. Yeah.
And then Onyx, that seemed to be all right, but like you said, it was very limited.
And the thing that bugs me too is you can only download in 5 by 5 mile and 10 by 10 mile high resolution.
Oh,
yeah, and I'm going 300 miles. I'm trying to do 5 by 5 mile squares. Dude, it's going to take me freaking forever, man. And then also you get, because I have my primary, my secondary, and tertiary routes. So because there's been times where we were doing a trip from like Capitol Reef down to Lake Powell, and the road we're going to take, there was a Volkswagen sized boulder in the road.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And
unexpected,
yeah. Like, and there was I tried to move it, and I tried to chip it away with a little rock hammer, like Shawshank Redemption, but dude, it wasn't happening. And then we were like, well, if we tie a tow strap till we pull it, but I'm like, okay, but what if this thing goes off the side, bro? It's gonna drag you to the bottom of the ocean, man. Yeah. So we're like, no, that's a bad idea. So we had to make an entire different route to get out of there. So if you just had your channel downloaded for offline maps, you would be at SOL.
That's all you got. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, you got no service. You can't
that's
start some new ones.
It's all like the road closures or
Yeah, you come to a gate that's it's fucking locked. Now what?
It happens all the time. You got to have the ability to find another way out, because even if the road goes the direction you want, it might not be a through road. It might actually go this direction for 15, 20 miles and then bang a left and start heading north. And next thing you know, you're at a dead end and you have X amount of fuel left, and you're 30 miles in. Now you have to go 30 miles back plus the 70 the other way.
Yeah, you only plan for so much fuel because I'm going to be able to get to here and refuel. Exactly. I got to go backwards of the whole fucking way.
I figure if I just follow you Land Rovers, I'll have enough fuel.
Always carry plenty.
I'll always make it. So, I'll have to follow this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even with the fuel budget, I always tell people there'll be times where, like with the Sprinter van trips and every other trips I do, you might not use the 10 gallons I told you to bring on the roof, but that 100 miles is in case there's a boulder in the road or the road's washed out and we have to backtrack, 60, 70 miles to the last gas station to get out of here versus, 30 to the exit point.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. I've never been stuck and we never had any. Well, one time the guy almost drove off a cliff, but other than that, nothing.
Driver error.
It was a combination. It was more. So it was a long day too. So we were going to do a trip from starting around Flagstaff, and then everybody's heard of Lake Powell, right? From those.
Yeah.
And then you have the
north.
It's Rafa and Sergio's favorite trip.
They always go out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have that the famous point, the Ostrom Point that everybody likes going to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The overlook. Yeah.
Overlook. Yeah. So there's years ago, me and my wife were going solo, and we were just in that area, and this was probably maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And I was looking, where we want to camp tonight. So I pulled up my map book and I'm looking. I'm like, oh, there's a road that overlooks the lake. I'm like, that's rad. I'm like, okay, but there's another one that goes way further in, that goes on the very top side of the lake. So I'm like, we're just me and you, and that looks like a long trip. So we just did the Ostrom Point one, and woke up in the morning, never been there before, and woke up. I'm like, it was because it was like midnight, and I was like, oh, the beautiful lake shot, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Okay. So fast forward, I'm like, I want to do that one trail that I never got a chance to do with some friends. So I planned it for maybe 3 years later. We did it. We started in Flagstaff, and we drove all day. We cut around because there's a big ditch that's in the way in the top part of Arizona. They call it the Grand Canyon.
Oh yeah, that little
the ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you only got you got two options. You got to go around to the west, or you got to go like right to the east, north of through Page, Arizona area. So we cut across there, and then we cut into Utah, and we drove, and it was like sun was setting. So we started in the morning when sun was setting. I'm like, they're like, how much time we got left? I'm like, we're finishing. So we'll probably got another 6 hours. Oh, so yeah. So we kept driving, and we were driving out that point. It's completely dark, and it's like a mountain road, and there was some rain before. And then the road wasn't even that hard at that point. It was like cutting back and forth, and the vehicle behind me, I made the turn. It was like a little muddy, and I took it wide because you could tell the road was like a little washed out. And I drove, and then my buddy John was like, "Hey, Brevin's stuck." Oh. I'm like, "Stuck on what?" I thought he went in the mud that I went in.
Got a little
stuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Tell that punk to put in 4-wheel drive and let's go, Hoss." And he's like, "No, bro, he's stuck." I'm like, "Okay." And I back up, and his vehicle, like 2/3 of it's hanging off the cliff.
Oh my God!
I'm like, "Bro, how'd you do that?"
Holy shit!
Yeah. So what happened was, I'm guessing
that'd be sketchy.
it was like dark. It was super sketchy, right?
At night, yeah.
Yeah, it was at night. So when your front wheels track different than your back wheels when you turn. And so when he took the turn, he took it fine, but it was just enough because it was in a bend. In the bends, you got to watch out for the rain when it comes down the mountain. It goes in, then it undercuts the road. Yeah. So the road was undercut.
Gave way.
Yeah, when he drove over, it gave way. And luckily, he was in 2-wheel drive because the front 2 wheels are on the road-ish. And then his passenger rear was in the sky like 10, 15 feet. And his driver rear was at the edge. And the only thing that was holding him was the was your freaking trailer, your hitch. The hitch. The hitch was on the back of the road. So he was floating in the air. And I'm like, okay, we can handle this.
Yeah.
So, but if he was in 4-wheel drive, he would have pushed forward, and it would have dropped him in. His butt would have fell, and he'd rolled probably 50,
he would
75 yards down the hill.
More, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So it was sketchy, but anyway. We had plenty of lights and a bunch of winches, so I had a big Dodge. I just hooked a static strap to the front bumper. Okay. He had a fully kitted out Tacoma, so he had plenty of recovery points.
Yeah.
So we just hooked a static strap to him. The Dodge weighed more than the Tacoma did. Yeah. So if some reason while we're planning like how to get him out of this,
something slips a little bit. Yeah.
The truck's not going down the mountain. We still got something hooked onto it, so it will hold.
Yeah. It's not going to drag the Dodge with it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not dragging the Dodge. Had it by a couple thousand pounds. And luckily we had a bunch of winches, and we just hooked it up and pulled it out. So we probably get it covered in 30, 40 minutes. We get it out.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all, right? It's like 8 o'clock at night right now. I'm like, okay, well, that was, good job, team. We did great. Man, everybody worked together. I'm like, I appreciate you all.
Got to use our stuff.
I'm like, everybody got to use their stuff and their lights. I'm like, okay, only 4 more hours to go.
When's dinner?
Yeah. So, and then we didn't hit the hard part yet. So then we drove in, and we were down. We had to go through this big wash and up a big rock climb. And we made it to camp. They kept asking me too. They're like how much further?
Are we there yet?
Yeah. I'm like, on the map, looks like about 1 inch.
Yeah, exactly.
How zoomed in are you?
Yeah. I'm like, we're almost there. We made it. We made it by
What's the scale?
1 a.m. About 1 a.m.
Oh,
so we
man.
started at 8 and got done at 1.
Yeah, that's kind of how it usually happens.
Yeah.
You never get in on time, man.
No.
I'm always rolling into dark. Yeah.
But you guys probably slept in the next morning.
Yeah, because it was the view. We could have stopped and camped prior to that. However, I wanted everybody to wake up with a lake right there. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
So we did it. Everybody was a good spirit. So it was good. It was fun.
It's fun. That's the
And my
adventure.
buddy who almost drove his truck off the cliff, he had to keep driving another 4 hours.
Oh, shut up after that?
Yeah, because after there was 4 hours after he almost drove his truck off the cliff.
yeah.
So he manned up and
White knuckling it a bit. Just,
yeah. So he did good.
Man. It sounds like an awesome trip. So was it all off-road from Flagstaff to this point?
All off road, yeah. Only when you had to jump across the bridge at where it's like an Indian and Paiute place over there, and that was it.
You cross through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fill up with some gas. And...
We filled up with gas at Big Water. Big Water is like just the west of Page and just the southwest of Lake Powell.
Okay.
You've done so speaking of recovery, so you teach recovery classes and stuff? Or?
Oh, yeah. So I do recovery classes with our sprinter group.
Okay. What's this? Is there like a name for the sprinter group? Or
Yeah. So it's Sprinter Overland Trip. So we put on because a lot of people have these sprinter vans, these 4-wheel drive sprinter vans now.
Yeah.
And my buddy Brian,
huge right now. Yeah.
he has one, and so we put me, Brian, and Steven. He's our chef.
Brian. Yeah, we know Brian.
Yeah, more Van Brian.
Yeah, more van ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so we put a group together, and we're like, hey, let's do sprinters. There's enough out there that want to go out and explore. So we take them out on a couple 100-mile off-road overland trips for like 2-3 days.
Nice.
Random areas.
How many do you guys usually run with?
So for the team, there's the 3 of us. So it's Brian, Steve, and myself. So I do all the navigation and trip planning side. Brian takes care of all the website and getting people to sign up in that, and
Logistics of
that side. And then Steven does all the chef. He's like a top line chef. So
really?
Yeah, it's really good food. So he cooks meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for everybody.
Oh, it's all inclusive kind of deal.
So it's good.
That's rad.
And so then we run trips from usually like 20 vehicles all the way up. We did one at 40. We're somewhere. Ooh. Yeah, we did 40 vans.
That's pushing it.
It's all area dependent because one thing I don't like mountain roads with a bunch of vehicles. So you got to find an area that's not going to have us on the side of a mountain when there's nowhere to pass.
Yeah,
because that's going to suck if you have oncoming traffic. And then it's also just for keeping, because the trail is like, I think from nose to toes we were about 3 miles.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, stretched out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a lot of coordination. Yeah, I met Brian up at the Moab trip we did, and he was there. I was actually he camped right next to me, and that's how I met him. Because he was sitting there checking out his thing. He set up his Starlink and everything. He's chilling, and I pull in and I'm checking out his van because I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, you know. And I was like, hey, your rim is not welded anymore.
Oh, is it?
He's like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, dude, your rim's all fucked up.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So I pointed out the fact that his rim was about to like literally, because he had this, what's it called? Where it's like a dually, but it's like a super wide,
like super single.
Yeah. And so I guess the welds had broken, and
Oof,
yeah,
that's not good.
And I was like, you got a spare?
Shit.
He did, but he ended up getting it re-welded and refixed or whatever. But I was like, hey man, your shit's fucked up.
Nice to meet you, by the way.
And he's like, oh really? Yeah, that was a good trip though. He's a good sport. Him and his dad actually came out, and so Brian and I and his dad actually did a lot of the Moab stuff together. We did the side-by-side tour,
right?
And it was just literally us 3 rather, and we had a good time. So
yeah, his family comes on all the trips. His dad's a cool dude. They got a Jeep, and now they come out with us all the time.
Yeah, it was hilarious because we were like going down some waterfall stuff in the side-by-sides, and I'm taking it all slow and everything. And the tour guy who, you rent it from these places, he's like, oh, well, thank you for, being very respectful and taking it slow and everything. He's all, most people just send it. And then 2 seconds later, Brian's dad goes, Brian! Just like send the dude. He was like, I was like, oh shit. It was so funny. He had a good time. We all had a good time, man.
Yeah.
It didn't break anything, so whatever.
Yeah,
it was just kind of funny because he had said that, and then he just
They came out with us on, we did a storyteller, a group hired us to do a New Year's trip for them. was it last? No, it was 2 years ago. And they came out with us too. And they're down for the cause because we did in Nevada where it was -5 and blizzard-like conditions. And it was fun though. It was like going through like the tundra, and we had a bunch of wild horses go through.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, like right through the convoys. There was about 10 vehicles and just 30, 40 wild horses just did their, what's a group of horses called?
Fucking stampede.
Pack. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. A gaggle of horses.
A gang of horses.
A gang of horses. A marauder of horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come running right through the convoy too. And I was like, yeah, we planned that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. We paid it.
You paid
That's
extra
part of
for
the
that.
experience. Yeah.
No, that's awesome, man.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah. So, do you allow any ZR2s and Tundras on trips?
Yeah. So when I do my rock strips, to whoever, I have a website and I just send an email out, and then the first who signs up, and then we go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Right on.
Okay. What kind of like for the recovery portion? Like, what do you teach on that stuff?
So the recovery side, I talk about the different methods. So real life recovery is different than classroom recovery a lot of the times.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
The
So
perfect environment. You know,
yeah,
you're all set.
and people have like perfect. So there's two types of recovery points, and this is only my philosophy on it, but
Fair.
you have rated and unrated. And rated means it's been tested somehow, and that you know how much force it can take. And then unrated means anything else you can hook up to, whether or not it can hold the weight or not. It's going to be a good guess on the person's experience that's doing it.
So basically, it's kind of like the difference between German engineering and British engineering, which we already covered.
Yeah. Bubblegum or
Yeah, it'll make it. Yeah, that's some check engine lights on. That's like the unrated.
Because man, I've recovered so many vehicles that don't have any recovery points. So if you're by the book, you're like, oh, it doesn't have a frame mounted rated recovery point, I can't pull you out. Well, then you can't pull out probably 95% of the people out there. So you just got to go, okay, in this situation, if I go around the front axle and maybe the leaf spring area, that will work for how bad it's stuck, but it all depends too.
Yeah, if you're up to your axles in mud,
exactly,
you're fighting it. Yeah,
because we pulled this last year. We were up in Arizona, and some guy was getting pulp. He was getting wood for camping, and he drove in this like '83 Ford 250 or something. It was full drive, but it had the suspension. I guess it was independent, but it was like a wishbone, but it looked like a solid axle, but it flexed.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
I-beam.
The I-beam. But it looks like a straight axle, but it flexes.
Yeah,
it's like the OJ Broncos had that.
Yeah,
my Explorer had it. Yeah,
Yeah, so he probably had 1,000 pounds of firewood in the back. Ugh. He just chopped and loaded, and he cut around and fell in a hole, and I was going to pull him with a kinetic rope, and he had nothing on the front. His bumper was like the bolts were not an option.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay. I'm like, and we're like, I don't want to break the news to you, bro, but we have to unload this wood.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, because he was buried to his frame in like the back, and
all that extra weight.
Yeah, the weight. And it's not because if he had like factory recovery points, I would have just hooked up and pulled him like he was with the wood. Who cares? But since we're doing the non-rated recovery points, and I don't want to tweak his whole steering components and everything.
Yeah, make it even worse. Yeah,
make it even worse to lower the force. I'm like, we'll unload the wood, and I just end up taking a couple soft shackles and a tree strap to split the power the force, and I hooked it to the strongest looking points underneath there. In that case, it was like one was around the axle itself where the leaf spring was at, because it's bolted at the leaf spring at the top and it's bolted there, and then the other side about the same thing. And we pulled them out. It was fairly easy.
And then he had to reload his wood.
Yeah, but we helped him unload it.
But you got him out. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Beggars can't be choosers.
A lot of what we're pulling, it's a lot about leverage and stuff like that. And if why can't I think of it? But like the pulley.
There's formulas. So I mean, I've taken
snatch blocks.
Snatch blocks. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
I mean, I've taken formal classes, and I mean, I did the Marine Corps 20 years. I was in a vehicle mounted unit where we have vehicles get stuck, and then they're
heavy ass fuking vehicles getting stuck.
14, 16 tons, like with up armor and stuff, and they were buried, waist deep in mud.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think the winch that we had. It was a hydraulic winch. I don't say it was an 18-ton winch or something. It was.
Oh really?
It's an insanely amount of pulling power. We almost pulled trees. Yeah. So there's formulas you can use, and like, okay, if the vehicle's stuck at this much at this depth, now the vehicle weighs, but you're not going to remember that when the time comes.
Out the math and
So my main theory is if you buy a winch that's 1.5 times the power you need, the rated the weight of the vehicle. So if your vehicle's 5,000 pounds, if you get a 9,000 pound winch, that should cover it. And if it's stuck just at the tires, you can run one line out and you won't overpower the winch. You'll be fine. Now, if it's stuck like into the drive components, like the drive shaft, not the drive shaft, but the
axles,
control arms. Yeah, control arms.
So
you need to run a line down and back. And then if it's buried to the body, you need to run down and back a third line.
Yeah.
That's kind of like
good
the
rule of thumb.
That's just the
it's
easy,
a multiplier.
Yeah, it's a multiplier. So every time it goes down and back, it essentially doubles the pulling power of the winch.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm just going to buy a winch. I'll be good." And but if you got to think, well, my vehicle's only this much. I only need a winch to pull that much weight. But you got to think when you're buried, you got that much extra.
Oh, it increases significantly.
The drag,
or and the suction of the mud.
Yeah, pulls you under, and you got to jump it up.
And and also the thing you don't really think about. So the winch is, say it's a 9,000 pound winch. When you only have 10 feet of line out, it's not 9,000 pounds. You have to have all the line out minus 7 wraps on it to be at the full strength, because it works like I always use a mountain biker. So if you're a mountain biker, you realize when you're what the hell is the front sprocket on a mountain bike called? What's it? In the front one, the front. When it's big, it's hard to go uphill.
Yeah.
When it's small, it's easier.
Change the gears down.
You change the gears down, right? So the winch works the same way. When there's more wraps on the winch, it's harder for the winch to turn. So it's
working harder.
Yeah. So you have to run as much line out as possible, getting down to the drum essentially.
Yeah.
And then it's a smaller gear for the winch, so it pulls at full force that way.
I never even thought about that. Yeah, because it's a smaller radius that it has to try and turn versus the whole wrap.
And you lose, and the formula is about 10%. So every layer that's on your winch drum, your pulling power goes down about 10%.
Interesting. I never thought about that.
I never thought about that. It makes sense.
It does. Yeah. What about it? Obviously, I mean, I have my own theory on it, but as far as synthetic line versus cable, I've gotten into fights with people over this, which is better. I am a
physical fights.
Yeah, man, we went to blow. Some people swear by steel cable. Still, I've always been the mindset that the synthetic is better. But
I mean, synthetic is stronger than steel, which you wouldn't think so, but it is. The actual material stronger.
Fibers, yeah.
Yeah. It's less dangerous.
Yeah, it won't snap and recoil back onto you.
Yeah, when it snaps, it breaks straight back. Usually, if you see a synthetic line break, it breaks straight back towards the vehicle and usually goes underneath. Versus steel, when it breaks, they usually rise.
Yeah, they
can't go anywhere.
Yeah. So you got that to deal with, and then it's lighter. It's easier to manage when you're pulling it out, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, there's a lot of pros to synthetic over steel. The downsides to synthetic really are it can dry rot if it's left out in the sun. You see on people's front of their trucks and it's exposed to the sun.
Yeah,
that stuff's gonna be dry rot unless you cover it up. Yeah.
Especially in Arizona.
Yeah. And then if you're in the mud and stuff and you don't clean it out, get home, you gotta pull it all out.
Pull it all out. Yeah. So you gotta clean all the fibers out. If you don't, it's like a little sandpaper in there. It's gonna make it fail on you early.
It also rubs on things too. So if it rubs over a rock, right?
Yeah.
So then if you're winching somebody up and over kind of like a ledge,
down a hillside, and you're trying to pull it back
up and over a rock, you can tear the synthetic
exactly.
line.
So that's, and then they have sleeves to kind of protect that, or you lay something down the ground on that bevel. So you have those things. I have steel on my LR3 and I used it forever. One, because it came with it and I'm lazy.
Yeah, right.
Two,
good reason.
It's I don't like maintenance. I hate maintenance stuff. Mm-hmm. Still, you leave it alone and it just works. It doesn't really. It's covered with something that doesn't really rust. You don't have to do much to it.
Oh wait, you don't like maintenance?
No,
but you drive a Land Rover.
Bro, I know, right? It doesn't make sense.
I'm a little confused over here.
Takes care of it.
Listen, I drive my Land Rover like a Toyota, and it does fine.
Walking contradiction here.
Yeah, I hate having to worry about it. But my Land Rovers, I don't do anything special, and they all work.
Yeah, I never did fucking maintenance on mine. I just get every so often I just added oil.
Yeah,
it's mostly because the people who bought Land Rovers just leased them and they didn't take care of them. They didn't care.
I always think it will tell me when it's got a problem.
Yeah, you'll know.
Yeah, with the light, then you'll ignore it. You'll ignore the light.
Yeah, like saying, is it overheating? No, I don't see any.
I mean, the
apparent
smoke. I mean,
the light could be brighter. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, most of them clear themselves.
Yeah. I've had that happen.
Yeah,
you have a code reader. You read it. That's not important. You keep moving.
Small stuff.
But yeah, so that's why I like to seal over the synthetic. You don't have to. I mean, you put it on there and you run it. Now and I do like a little bit of danger in my life, so that kind of
True.
Yeah,
Throw a little T-shirt on it so it doesn't whip. You know,
as long as you stand back far enough, you take the proper precautions, you'll be fine. And you put your hood up if if you have to be inside the vehicle while you're doing it. And then with the invention of those soft shackles now, it saves you don't have that big chunk of metal flying too, which helps.
Oh, the D-ring,
yeah. So that makes it a little better. But
like there was that video of the dude who hooked it up to his tow hitch. And the ball hitch flying back.
Yeah, that was just bad.
The ball hitch itself didn't even fail. It was the fact it was like a 10-inch drop.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was on a 10-inch drop.
Oh, so it snapped.
Yeah, because and it probably wasn't that high quality of a drop either, because it was hollow, I guess too. So you have it on a 10-inch drop, you're pulling that hard, and he was pulling hard. So that's a huge lever.
Yeah.
Well, he was buried, like we just talked about.
Yeah, he was buried.
Had suction because of the mud. He was buried up to his axles, over his axles actually, and they were pulling it out with a freaking ball hitch with a drop.
Yeah. So you can't. So you got to, and that's where there's something called. I'm trying to think. There's a term they use where when you do things a few times and it works out for you, so therefore you think it's okay. And then when it doesn't, even though it's wrong,
fucking luck.
No, it's like we're like, I pulled plenty of trucks out this way, I'll be fine. Well, you've got lucky that many times. Yeah, because like that one, he was buried way too deep, and then they said the vehicle weighed 8,000 pounds. It was a big vehicle. It probably weighed 16,000 pounds at the stuck level it was at.
Well, it's like you were saying, like depending on the situation, like you didn't, if it was like a light pull,
he'd
probably been fine.
He'd been fine.
I've done that for years, and before they had kinetic straps, I just had a. Back in the day, we just had like those yellow toe straps basically, and I would just wrap it around a dude's bumper or something like that, and just kind of do a light pull. But
if it's something that you figure 4 guys could push out of, then who cares? It's fine. But if it's something like it's buried like that, and you don't have an actual recovery point that's rated, and you're pulling off random parts, you need to do some digging.
Yeah,
you have to do some digging.
Yeah, that's for sure. Bring a shovel.
And then people use the wrong. They don't understand the difference between like a tow strap, a snatch strap, and then like a kinetic rope. They treat chains and tow straps like kinetic devices.
Running
because you have something, running pulls, because you have a shock load that gets put on the recovery vehicle and the vehicle being recovered. That's when you break and start sending pieces flying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a kinetic rope I just got. It's really nice, and it worked out great.
Yeah,
I have a tow strap too, but that's like totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you use, like I carry a tow strap and a kinetic rope. I don't do the snatch strap anymore because it just does. It's the snatch strap and a kinetic rope do the same job. It's just the kinetic rope does it better.
Yeah.
The only upside to a snatch strap over a kinetic rope is it's cheaper. That's it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not cheap, but no.
Because it's $70-$80 versus $250 for a kinetic rope. However, if you think about it, like long term, a snatch strap. It only if you pull it 4 hard times, like at the max of what it's rated at, it's done. It's a tow strap now. It won't recover itself anymore. Elasticity.
Thank you. Yes, I can't say it,
but I was letting him say it.
You just want to watch me fumble. Thank you.
Yeah, it goes completely away, and you don't. It's now just a tow strap. Where a kinetic rope, you can yank on it quite a few times, and you don't really have to let it rest. And then also snatch straps when they're wet, they lose a lot of elasticity too. You got to watch out for that, or it's kinetic ropes. You don't have to.
Nice.
Yeah, I carry both.
Well, look at you.
I'm
fancy,
above average Overlander.
It's good though. Like tow strap's good because, like in the situation of my buddy hanging off the cliff, I didn't want a rope that would stretch. I wanted a static rope to hold him. While we came up with a game plan.
Yeah, you can never have too much recovery gear.
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, you can.
Wow.
If you spread load, like there's been plenty of times where, I mean, even like a winch line, you think, I got 100 feet of winch line. Bro, 100 feet ain't nothing, man. It goes up quick, and especially if they go down and back. And that's all you have is 100 feet. That's 50 feet plus a little wrap. You're looking at 40 feet away.
Yeah, you want at least 100 feet, I would say. Yeah,
at least, and then the extensions, and then you can use like tow straps. You can use them for extensions for winch lines. They work for that too. So, as long as the rate, you're only as weak as you're only as strong as your weakest point when it comes to all like your recovery setup. So whatever your because you have a couple different ratings on. Like a working load limit. You guys ever heard of that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Versus like MBS, minimum braking strength.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
they always say, like, look at the minimum braking strength. Don't look at the max load. Look at what the minimum is.
So they usually, so that comes from the hoisting community when they used to carry loads above people's heads.
Oh yeah.
They'll have a working load limit. So they'll have a bow shackle they use, like an actual company, like a legit bow shackle. They'll say it's a 4 3/4 ton bow shackle. Like, okay, I think it breaks if you get heavy. No, it doesn't break. That's where it's safe to use this when your load is 4 3/4 tons above people's heads. And then they have something called a factor of 4, factor of 3, or factor of 5, meaning that working load limit times the factor gives you that braking strength.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but bow shackles, you can use those all day long. They won't break.
Nice.
If you break a bow shackle, your truck will break in half.
Yeah.
Because it's like 4.5 tons times usually 5, so that's 20 tons. That's a lot of force.
Yeah, you got to be a seriously fucked.
Yeah,
person.
So like in the overland world and off-road world, you're not breaking bow shackles.
Yeah. And like most of the stuff people are, I mean, there's people out there doing some heavy duty shit, but like I know most of the stuff people are doing. Like I've wanted to use my winch, but I've never had to. But I've never done anything too crazy.
Usually solo stuff, I've used my winch more. Me and the wife go out solo.
Yeah.
Like I'm less adventurous since I don't have a winch yet. I'll call it quits earlier because before my LR3, I was like, okay,
Fuck it.
yeah, I'll just go, and then I'll winch out if I have a problem. As long as you have a shovel, you can essentially fix any problem you have. But you're talking about hours.
It's a lot of digging.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
But yeah, like you were saying out in Glamis, I've spent fucking days out there just digging shit out.
Digging.
Yeah.
Man.
And like recovery boards, you could use those at all? Or
Yeah, I have some Amazon specials. I think I paid $100 for them.
Yeah, some
they work
cheapos.
fine. Yeah, they work fine.
Yeah.
Before I used to use the metal like sand ladders, the ones that have the holes.
the
in them.
old school ones,
I use those for work all
Camel
the time.
trophy ones.
Yeah, I use those for all the time. They work great, and we were using them on 14-ton vehicles,
Yeah.
getting buried up to what they would be their axle, their body. And we used them all the time. They got us out.
Yeah, I've seen some people like just recently posting up like some of the traction boards, like the Xpedition ones or whatever, the Amazon specials, but like in the colder temperatures they like been cracking and shit. I think this is the material you're using.
They're not as well made as like the Max Track ones for
Yeah,
sure.
they're heavier material. Yeah.
But I mean, I've used.
For how often you use them?
Yeah, probably. If you take care of them, which I don't take care of mine, I just leave them out all the time.
Yeah,
No
you just live
maintenance.
on the truck.
I do
Yeah,
no maintenance. Yeah, my theory is if it can't handle my abuse, then I don't need it in the first place.
Yeah.
Like I leave it out in the sun. They're like
Yeah.
they have a chalky white kind of film on them.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they got a couple cracks, but I mean, you just need enough to get you up the hill.
It's just got to work once.
Yeah, that's it.
If it gets me out of a situation once and gets me home, it was
Worth
it.
$100.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
exactly.
$100. Yeah, so there's some stuff I spend more money on than others, but like the actual like the soft shackles and the stuff that I'm putting a lot of force on that if it breaks, someone can get hurt.
Safety wise.
Yeah, the safety stuff, I'll spend more money on that. But yeah, it's things like that where I've used sticks and branches and other things for in the past. I don't worry about it.
Like Dead Man, they make those body bags.
Yeah.
For like if you're out in the desert because you don't have a tree
they work
or
great,
a rock.
yeah.
Have you used one of those before?
Yeah, I've
something
used
similar?
I've used that in like teaching classes. I've never had to use one in real life because in snow they work really well, and then in sand they work really well. If you're in like hard ground,
What are you going to be?
you're not gonna be able to dig that well. But
You
like
can
in
wrap
that,
them around rocks, though.
you can wrap around rocks. I was
Oh
about
yeah,
to
it
say.
just has a
Yeah, if it was like an anchor point that way, so they work good for that. And then a tree saver, they work for like a tree saver too.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, for sand, especially if you go a lot of like sand exploring, yeah, they're great. Snow
Baja.
Nothing out there else to winch
there's
to.
nothing to winch
Unless
from.
if you're by yourself. Yeah.
Correct,
Other
yeah.
vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah, go down to Baja and
Yep.
take one with you.
Yeah. Aim just bought one, but he's like all the way up in the snow, like buried, like 4 feet of snow. And
Yeah, that's perfect for that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So have you done all the way from the tip of Baja all the way up?
No, we did a Baja trip about what was it? Last summer. We did one. We went from the east side of Baja, which is like the Baja California side. We were camping, all just beach camping stuff, and then we drove cross country with Forlow to the other side, to the west side, and camped over there. So we teamed up.
Matt.
Oh yeah, Matt. Yeah. So
yeah.
we did a Sprinter van Forlow combination trip. So we teamed up with them because he's the guru down there in Mexico in that area. So yeah, we did a van trip from the East Coast to the West Coast, cutting cross country. It was fun. It was nice.
Yeah, he said there was like a mountain range in between.
Yeah.
You, like kind of go up and over. And he's like, most people don't think about a mountain range up there. There's like pines and stuff, he said.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. And his truck still makes it, man. I just saw his fender. It's all rusted out.
Yeah, but it's like the incognito truck there. You don't want to be rolling down there and like a kitted out Tundra everywhere you go.
No way
too much
at all.
attention, man. Too much attention.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, his truck works great. It's a little Toyota
it's
pickup.
perfect.
He drove it all the way up to Moab with us.
Yeah, it's
it was
perfect
the same
for it.
trip we went
Yep.
on. Yeah. Yeah, he's a interesting guy. So definitely want to go take a Baja trip with him, but I need to get my passport first. We also
they barely check. It's just getting back in the States. They check. Man, we went down there. Bro, it's scary, man.
They just don't want you coming back.
Yeah, it's sketchy as hell right now.
Yeah, there's a little bit of conflict, but we took out the big boss down there. So
lately
so
it's
a little sketch.
Well,
yeah, they don't check you going in.
Took out the big box. You talking about like they arrested him?
Yeah, when the Chapo got pinched, and now it's kind of up for grabs. So now it's a little more.
There's
a lot of other
something like that. I don't
Say
know.
again.
Didn't they pick up like El Chapo's son or something?
Yeah, he just got pinched too. Yeah, so there's.
They say he'll get out though. Like he'll escape.
If they don't transfer him to the States, he will for sure.
There's just like change of power, so people are starting to flex, and
then, so everybody's trying to be the new boss. So it's a little more sketchy than it normally was.
But if you go with local, like you're saying, if you go with Matt, he probably knows the areas and
it's knowing because I worked in Mexico for a year.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was down towards like the Yucatan Peninsula. I worked down there, so it was and it's chill down there. But yeah, you just got to know somebody that knows the
lay of the land.
What's the word I'm looking for? It's like the baseline.
Yeah.
Once you know the baseline for the area, then you know what the anomalies are. Well, like, okay, that's weird or that's not weird. That's normal.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. So you have a local like Matt who knows the baseline because he's lived down there so long that he can say, oh, that's not normal. That should
we're steer clear of this.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't take any weapons, firearms, knives, nothing down
not
there.
even a bullet, bro. You'll go even like a knife. You can go to prison for that.
Yeah, it was funny because he had this giveaway for his Camp 4 Low that he had done, and it was like these really nice white knuckler brand knives that guy made, and he had to like smuggle them or something. I don't know. I mean, hey, I don't know how you got them down there.
Not
but,
asking questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, just don't get pinched with that.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah,
Locked up down in Mexico jail is not fun.
I would assume not.
Yeah.
I mean,
hope we'll never find out.
No.
No, but I definitely want to go take a trip with Matt because, like you said, he knows what's up and he'll keep you safe.
Yeah.
Right on.
So so then Xpedition Academy's completely different than everything?
Completely different. Yeah. So I was doing that prior to our Sprinter Van stuff.
Oh, okay.
So and it's just the same thing. It's all classes, and I use my website, XpeditionAcademy.com, to I just put it out there. If you sign up for my subscriber list,
open to anybody.
Yeah, open to anybody. It doesn't matter the vehicle type. It doesn't matter anything. And so when I do these, I do a lot of trips, random trips throughout the year, and if you want to go, I just send an email out, and like the first 6 or 7 that respond back say I can make it, then go on the trip. That's it.
Okay.
Because I plan a bunch of trips, but because me and my buddy started doing this about 17 years ago together. There was like 4 of us, yeah. And at the time, life was less complicated, so we were able to go on trips all the time. And then eventually, people get jobs, have kids, and then it's like, what weekend do you have? Like, it never works out. And then with the invention of Instagram, you have this like wide pool of people that want to go out and find cool stuff.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Yeah, so it works out great. So now, like, I just put it out like, hey, I'm going from A to B for like 5 days. We're going to check this out. Who wants to roll? And then people show up or people respond back, and then we go. I make a lot of friends that way.
Yeah, no, definitely. Instagram has been a great tool to like connect because Jared and I, we do a podcast together every week, but I have yet to camp with him this year or since a long time last year. So it's definitely been a while. And so like I'm finding other groups to go with, this and that. And it's not necessarily because I can't with him specifically because of I don't want to. It's more of just like his schedule, my schedule, man.
Yeah, dude, it's the hardest part, man.
That is definitely the hardest part. So it's been great to connect with all these other people. I mean, I met Opt Off Road, through Instagram,
Dude, I think I've really take a census of all my friends I have right now. I think I met them all off Instagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they're all like off-roading buddies that we didn't know each other. We went on a trip together, and then we just started hanging out for years later.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people in recent years who have befriended and stuff like that are all through Instagram and wheeling and stuff like that. I mean, you and Eric are the only people I hang out with outside of
Instagram friends.
Yeah, Instagram friends. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying that we haven't camped together since when was the last time? Olaf? Back in October?
You and I?
Yeah.
We were just at Hammers. King of the Hammers. We camped out together.
Well, that doesn't really count. That wasn't really like a trip.
Oh, yeah, not an adventurous trip. Like we're out exploring and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because Olaf wouldn't even have counted either. Those are just like kind of like events.
Yeah, I went to one of those up in Big Bear one time.
Yeah.
And so it's like a hangout.
The fun little, get to meet people and stuff
it's like a socializing thing.
Yeah, you go there for the giveaways.
But you're not all like off grid and more of the adventure. Like when we did Arizona, I think that was like the last big hurrah for us that we've done lately.
Where'd you guys go in Arizona?
Well, we did the whole like we stopped at
That was last May.
Was it?
That was last May.
Time flies.
Well,
for us together, but
yeah, because we did the Overland Expo West, but
Right.
then
Go for like a
we
day and then-
extended it and went up to Grand Canyon.
Nice.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Went to, yeah.
Flagstaff and then down into Grand Canyon. Oh, that's right.
Williams.
Williams, and we stayed down. What was the res that we were on?
Well, it was
Mojave?
No, it was the Peach Springs or whatever.
Okay, yeah, and you were able to like just camp right down on the Colorado River.
Oh, that's rad.
On it, and we ended up staying there for like a couple days. It was just
Yeah.
rad. Like
It
fucking
was
just
hot,
bitching.
but like the water's like 60 degrees.
Yeah, when it's that hot, you'd rather just stay on the
Yeah,
water.
we just like
yeah.
sat in the water all day. Just grab a beer and we just sat in the water.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like your beer's warm because you're holding it up. You just stick it into the water. It's cool again.
Solid.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were doing these weird things where we'd lay down and let the water rush over us. It was kind of cool. It felt like you're like traveling through time.
And we jump off
Maybe
the
it was the
rocks
drugs, I
and
don't
stuff into
know.
the water. Yeah, just kidding. Yeah, no. Yeah, that was the last time you and I did like an adventure camp or something like that, where we kind of went out and
Almost a year
explored.
ago, dude, because it's already almost March.
Shitty. Yeah,
10 months ago.
we've done like a bunch of our own like solo trips or with other groups and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we need to get out more shit.
So, yeah. So you don't have a Sprinter van, or you do?
No, I do not. My wife wants us to get one for sure. She every time we go to camp and they stop, they park, they
done.
roll out their awning and they're good. They have their kitchen and like a bathroom and a full bed in the back, and I'm on there.
Shower in there. And
I'm
something.
unpacking things and get everything set up. So there's definitely some positives to it. However, I do a lot of randos like areas where I'm not sure like what the quality of the trail is. Where I don't.
I mean, the
I think
vans are very capable.
they're very
nowadays,
capable, but
you're still limited.
You're still limited. You get yourself in a bad spot and you're stuck in there. I'm more likely to get out in a vehicle I have than a van. So that's the thing that turns me off the most about it.
Yeah, that's kind of why we went the route with the going like the full size truck with a camper versus
Right.
we were looking at the Sprinters as well because we wanted to. I'm fucking getting old and it's just hard.
The problem is their transfer case, their power ratio is someone was saying the other day, their low range is only like not even a 2-to-1. It's like a 1.8 to 1.
Really?
Yeah, it's not that much, man. From the high low range, it's not a.
Wow.
They sell a Agile off road. They're starting to try to get into an Atlas transfer case for these things that do like a 3-to-1 or 4-to-1. So you actually have like a low range because those things are heavy. Push them up some of these hills sometimes.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about
All fully loaded with all the shit
10,000
in
pound
there,
rig,
all built out.
yeah, built out. Getting drug up a hill. So you need some power, and they do. I mean, we made it everywhere we've gone with no issues. Only if the turbo gets hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
got
'cause
problems.
they're not like the ground clearance isn't that much. I mean, it's decent, but I think they're what like 32-inch tires.
The factories are like 31.
Yeah, I say at max
31.
it's 32.
Well,
but-
we just did a trip with some friends, and we took him across Utah, and it was a family, and they only had 31s on theirs, and they made it fine.
Yeah.
He was a good driver.
I've been like really impressed.
Yeah,
I've
Chris-
gone out with a couple people, but yeah.
But man, skill. Skill will conquer most things.
Yeah.
Most of the time. So even if you're getting new into off roading, you're better off getting a stock truck and just going out there and doing without lockers or anything and learning how to drive. And because
Yeah.
once you get to a vehicle that's
If
got
you're
lockers,
relying on all that shit,
yeah, I've seen plenty of vehicles that roll. I'm like, how did he roll that? I'm like, that thing is way too kitted to roll
Right.
over
Hey,
right now.
I saw a Civic on its side today on the freeway on the 210. So, I mean, I've seen quite a bit.
Oh,
you can roll a Civic on a freeway.
Oh,
Here's up on the side.
Here's a little PSA too. Come in here. It was rainy, right? I get it's rainy. I get there's fog. Okay. But the dude behind me had his 40-inch light bar on.
oh geez.
And it's
yeah.
20. I'm like, come on, man. What are you doing, man? I could feel bad for the vehicles coming on. Like, you don't have to turn your 40-inch light bar on the paved roads, fella.
Well, he thinks he's cool because he spent all this money and he
Like,
wants
I get
to use
my
it.
light bars. Yeah.
I get it.
Isn't it illegal to drive with your light bar
Oh yeah,
on?
for sure. It's because it's
Like,
blinding.
yeah.
yeah, it's blinding. You save it for the isolated paved roads when no one else is around. But yeah, in the middle of on the 15, it's not rad.
Well, I feel bad even like if I'm in like a a trail convoy and I have like my ditch lights on or something.
Oh,
I'm like,
dude, it's
let me know if
blinding.
you want me to turn those off. I feel bad,
Yeah, it's blinding.
Well, it's worse out there because like there is no ambient light. There's
Yeah.
like nothing out there. There's no street lights. Like
Yeah, it's
out here, at least
darkness
there's street
and
lights, and
that's
your
all you
eyes are
see.
adjusted to that. But this is just dark.
Your
and
tire
a light
cabs
bar.
like illuminated from the vehicle behind you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I don't have any light. Well, I have lots of lights. None of them are wired up though.
Dude, that's the steps, bro. You got to go through the steps, man.
Right.
You bound them as a step, and then you can't do everything at once. I'm with you.
Fuck no.
Yeah, they've been unwired for about a year and a half now. Well, yeah, I just never got around to it. And then I was like going to put the trigger control in my truck. But then I changed it to the Mini and all this other stuff. And then I bought all the stuff to wire it up. And then my buddy who was going to help me, Jeff, had some stuff come up. So he was not able to help me recently, but he will.
It's like you said, like cutting into your wheeling time. And
Yeah, you only have so many hours you can.
Yeah.
do
Well, he's also dealing with a blown head gasket on his GX.
did he really?
Or he's changing the head gasket or something like that. But he's been doing it for like 2 months. I don't know what's going on, man.
life.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Got a new baby, so you know. how that
Yeah,
is,
yeah. Well, he's not doing it. It's his dad's shop.
Oh,
the
that's
guy's doing it in his spare time, so the guy doesn't want spare time.
When he gets around to it, he'll get
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So you've been like all over, like the West Coast. I mean,
The Southwest. I would say
Southwest is
from
your primary.
Arizona, Utah, Nevada, and then like all of California is like, I would say my main stopping grounds. A little bit of Colorado. And
Have you done any in New Mexico?
No, that's next on my list, man.
I was
It's
looking at New
beautiful,
Mexico.
man.
It's so nice.
actually.
It's a straight day to get there.
Yeah.
Like, because when I do like trip planning, I would say I work from farthest spot to closest spot. So I'm saying I'm going 500 miles.
You still got to drive back. Yeah.
Yeah, so I try to start at the furthest point in the trail. So when you're done, you took 9 hours to get there. You got 4 hours to get back. That's the problem in New Mexico. It's 12 hours to
Everything's
get there.
far.
Yeah, and then even if you work your way back, you still got a long ways back.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy because I was trying to get a new bumper for my truck, and he's out of New Mexico, and like Jess and I were like planning, like, well, maybe we could just make a trip out of it.
Right,
You know what I
exactly,
mean?
right.
So like I'll drive
You
out
have
there, but so we were kind of looking around like places to explore while we're out there and stuff. There's some
Oh, dude,
decent-
Mexico's tons
Yeah.
of cool places. Tons of cool places.
The land of enchantment.
Yeah.
Is it? That's,
That's what it says on there.
Is that the thing?
Yeah, on their license
their
plate, it's like
slogan?
something about like enchantment, like land of enchantment.
I've been. They have the white sand dunes. I've been out there.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say that's exploring. It's like a park.
yeah.
Well, they have a lot of beautiful national forests and everything. I
Yeah,
mean,
up
Lifestyle Overland did a whole thing through New Mexico, and it looked great.
Yeah, they lived out there, I guess, for a while. That was their home base. Yeah,
There's a mountain range that we went through because we were
like the northern part or something.
Yeah, it was like we were coming back from. My family lives out in Arkansas, so we did a cross country where we went to Utah for like 3 or 4 days with Brian and some friends, and then we went through Colorado for 3 or 4 days. And that's why I blew my front air strut bent on the LR3. And then the shop that I took it to, right? There was no Rover shop.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, so I ended up limping it. Because it was, I don't know how I did it, but the shaft of the airbag strut, it bent, like the big steel thing. And I wasn't even driving fast. Anyway, I get it to the shop eventually, limp it off the trail. I do like a zigzag pattern to get it back. And then the shop that fixed it there replaced the wrong knee, man.
What?
Because they call me up, they're like, "Hey, your truck's still throwing codes, and I think there's something else." I'm like, "Homeboy, there ain't nothing wrong with it, man. Just place the air strut, and you're good."
That's all I'm asking.
That's
yeah.
all I'm asking. And he's like, "Nah." So I drove down there to the shop, and he's like, "No, it's not working." I'm like, "Where's my truck?" And I go, "Bro, you operated on the wrong knee, man."
Shut up.
It was the other side. Like, you can't see that it's bent like an L. So they took out the wrong air strut and replaced
Jesus.
it. I'm like, "All right."
You're like, I'm not paying for that.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
He's
That's
like,
the broken part.
I'm like, he's like, "Oh, do you want me just to?" I'm like, no. Put everything back the way you had it, because now if say you swap the one you swap with the other one, now something else could be wrong and you can't track it down. I'm like, put that one back and then swap out the original one. So they did.
You got to be like when you go
Then
in for
charge-
surgery, they write on operate this leg.
But see that exactly right. But I don't say right and left. I say passenger side
Yeah,
front,
driver's
side
side.
front to
It should
avoid
be- yeah.
pretty. And it's not even that. You could see it was bent like an L.
For
The
the
other
fucked
one was
up one.
Okay,
Yeah.
listen, you're talking about a British vehicle, though.
Yeah. What
I
side of
mean,
the
It's
road are
on
we
the
on?
opposite.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. It was on the other side of the
Threw
road.
him off. Yeah.
In New Mexico, he's doing the conversion in his head. He's like, I don't know.
So after that, we still drove through Oklahoma, all through Colorado and Oklahoma and down Arkansas, went exploring. But when I was coming back through Texas in the middle of the summer, my air conditioning line clogged.
Shut up.
Yeah, dude, it was so hot. And like I couldn't turn the AC on. And me and my wife were just sweating. And we get to New Mexico.
Smelled so good, I bet.
Oh, it was so bad. I'm like, babe, we need to get some elevation. So we drove up to the mountain area of New Mexico just so we can not sweat our ass off for a night.
Yeah.
We had a trip like that. We were going up. It's summertime, and we're like, you know what? Let's just do a road trip up to Yosemite real quick. And we were in the Land Rover, and the AC went out, and it was 105 driving through Bishop.
Oh,
And well, we drove up at night after work on Friday, so it was only 90 degrees.
Yeah, the windows are like hot. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you had the windows down just so you could have airflow, but it's just blowing hot air on you, and like that's one of those trips where like everybody in the vehicle is just quiet because everybody's just
trying
pissed,
to survive,
you know. And like we were like making stops at gas stations just to buy ice and dumb shit just to like cool off. And
yeah, you put the ice in your hat, and then you put your
we were getting bandanas and wrapping them, like dunk them in the ice water and just wrapping them around you and like anything just to stay cool. And like, God, that was a tough one, man. Like, and it was like 6 hours just.
That was when you first started dating, right?
Yeah. Well, no, we've been dating for a few months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that was a test.
That's a good test. That's a good test.
Oh yeah.
Well, she knew what she was getting into. She looked at the Land Rover. She's like,
we're taking the shit box, and that's why we have a new truck.
Yeah, she deserves the creature comforts again after dealing with that thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you can survive, like that's the thing. You start out with something rough.
That's
you
right.
Move up,
Yeah,
you can handle
the hardest possible.
Yeah, exactly. If you can handle that, then you can handle anything. So now everything else is just fucking cake after that.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I grew up in Arizona, so like when it's hot and your AC's not working,
bro, that's devilish.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're sweating no matter what. I remember, I think my 240 was broke down, and I had to drive my my stepdad's truck to work, and it was like a 79 Ford F100 Custom with the vinyl seats. And
sticky,
dude. Yeah, dude, it burned the shit out of your legs, dude. Vinyl in the sun. Oh my God, no tint, nothing, no AC. You roll down that window, manual crank. Oh
yeah,
my
when
God.
I lived in Scottsdale, I had I had a '65 Mustang, black leather, vinyl seats, and like I remember I would put socks on my hands.
Oh yeah,
so I could touch the steering wheel, just so I could drive with like the steering wheel.
I had to do that. So I had one of my last few years I was in Arizona. I had a Lexus IS 300, which has the chrome shift knob.
Oh shit!
So yeah, and it was an automatic, but it's like this chrome shift knob, and so you literally had to put a sock over it just to freaking
so you could
shift it into gear. And I had black leather, and so you can't wear shorts. Or if the girls are wearing the like little mini skirts
or something.
I was like 21. They were in their mini skirts. I'll be real. And they'd sit down and they're like, I was like, and I was like, I didn't have any towels. I'm sorry.
Put a shirt down.
I wear shorts. That were a little bit longer. It was like the early 2000s.
You're wearing cargo shorts.
I was wearing cargo shorts for sure.
Yeah, for sure. You could carry so much stuff.
Oh yeah, so much room for activities.
Yeah. Keep my
tots
in there.
Yeah, tots. Yeah, man. So let me ask you, what's your favorite trip you've ever done?
Ooh, favorite. I would say we did a 600-mile rocks trip starting in Mexican Hat, Utah.
Okay.
Just kind of down there by the border of Arizona.
Okay.
And then you go from there and you go up through Valley of the Gods, which is kind of where the Forrest, the Forrest Gump, running through area. So we did that, and then we went through Bears Ears National Park, which is a big mountain range, and then you dump out, and from there we dropped into we went to Canyonlands and went out to something called the Dollhouse. So which is it was a good day to get into it. And we camped in this spot where you had 50-foot cliffs on both sides, and there was like the Milky Way split it that night. It was so rad.
Awesome.
And it's like
no light out there.
Oh, it's 150 miles
stars.
from anything. So yeah, it was no light. And then we drove from there, and we went to stay on something called the Maze, which is on another 50, 60 miles from that. And then we drove out from there, and we cut across this mountain range that's in Utah where all the trees were like that yellow aspens, so they're all gold.
Sick.
Cut through there, and then we came down and we went through Capitol Reef, and then we circled back around and came and ended at Lake Powell. So it was like 600 miles all dirt.
Damn.
The whole way, and it took us about a week. So it was me and my friends James and Lisa and Gavin, and my wife. We all went out there. It was like a Sunday to Sunday trip.
Dude, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was so rad. it was a good time, man. It was fun. That's probably my favorite. As far as the sights means, because I love the red desert, just the sunsets in there. Oh man, it's amazing. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, like we went up to Utah a couple times, and just outside Mesquite, and we went Open Road for 2.
Yeah,
I can't remember exactly where we went, but that was such a cool park we went into. Again, all the red dirt.
Yeah,
and or that copper brown or copy. Yeah, man, it was beautiful. I can't think of a better look.
The desert's the best. I think
I love the pines though.
I would say you prefer the desert over the pines.
I grew up in Arkansas, and I never I remember. I mean, I grew up in trees. However, I don't know. I just like the desert, man.
See, that's where it's like different. Cause like I grew up here, so it's like when I grew up, like we were always going out to Akatia and Glamis and stuff.
Right.
So it was always the desert is where we would always go hang out and play in. So to me, the trees are like.
Oh, okay.
I'm like like growing up in California. I'm like the beach, whatever.
Yeah,
but
well,
like, if you've never
I'm
been
from Arizona. We always wanted to go to the beach.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
I could care less, and like I grew up playing in the desert, so I'm like I'd rather go to the pines. So
Arizona's got some nice forests there too. You don't
yeah.
think about it. The northern part, yeah, it's got some nice.
Yeah,
rivers.
Flagstaff.
the Mogollon Rim. Have you ever camped up there?
We just went there in December. We did a trip through there when that snow hit too.
Oh, right.
wow.
Yeah, it was snowy, man. We took a van trip through there. That was we went there 2 weeks earlier. Me and the wife scouted the route to make sure everything was cool, and then we showed up 2 weeks later, and it just dumped snow that night. The temperatures dropped to 18 degrees.
Yep.
But the snow was only maybe 2 or 3 inches, and it was cold, so it was actually perfect. It made it, the forest looked nice. The only problem was there was like one of the campsites I scouted for us to fit. It was down a little 2-lane dirt trail to a big open field. So I was like, okay, it's not. I got to fit 20 vans in here. So I'm like, this is the spot we're camping. But the next morning, it was just an ice climb hill out. So I'm like,
shit.
So I'm like, all right, guys, we're all going to make it. I'm not worried about it. However, we're going to have to do it one at a time. So in case someone gets stuck or has to stop, we're not going to have
all piled up.
up. So it took us like an hour and 10, 15 minutes just to pull out of camp, which it seems like a long time, but it's shorter than if we send everybody at once and then they get an accident and they get stuck, and then it would be a whole mess. There's no recovery way to get them out. So that was kind of the downside. And then also because it was so nasty with the snow and ice that we had to cut off some of the trip, and we ended up dumping out by Theodore Roosevelt's reservoir.
Oh, Roosevelt Lake.
Yeah, Reservoir Lake down there. So we ended
That's
up.
beautiful though.
Yeah, it's really nice. So we took that dirt road that goes down from it. So there was a 4-wheel drive route. I was going to take that parallel it, but man, it's all about crunching the numbers on time, and like we ran out of time. So
Yeah, you're pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, so it worked out nice. That was really nice up there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, pretty much anywhere you go, you're gonna be like, beautiful. So,
Yeah, dude, it's so nice. And even like the north, we've done I did a rock trip on the north rim of the Grand Canyon. We started the east side and took the rim all the way to Mesquite, the whole way, and camped along the way, like overlooking the Grand Canyon. Oh, bro, it was like someone was like cutting through forests, and someone was like Grand Canyon views. It was rad.
I've tried to do the North Rim like 3 times now, and it's because such a long drive.
Oh, to get there, it's a haul, man.
Yeah, so like I'm always like, we'll just tack that onto this trip, and it's like, it's just like it's too much.
No, because even to go to like what's the big cliff? I'm trying to think of the name. It's a sheer face that's on the North Rim. It's called
I don't know.
Torweep. Yeah, Torweep. Huh. Yeah, Torweep. It's like a mile straight down.
Yeah.
Where you can, there's like a little mom and pop who live out there all the time at the little ranger station. And you can drive out to the edge, and then it's just straight like mile down to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, rad.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. So we hit that. I was like about midway on the north side. But there's a couple other points. You can go, you see a lot on Instagram where like you camp like overlooking the river.
Yeah.
Like that one's actually not too bad to get to. You can do that. You can get down there in like 2 hours, 3 hours. You can get to it up the paved road. And then there's another point that's really cool called Kelly's Point that me and buddies went to 10, 15 years ago. That's the same thing. It's a full day just to get out there, but you camp on the edge of the Grand Canyon. And if 15, 20 people make it a year, I'd be surprised just because it's a full day drive trail just to get there.
Yeah, it's one of the nice things, like, I guess, because then you're like weeding out a bunch of the touristy kind of, what I mean?
Exactly, right.
Yeah. Yeah, who did we have on? They said like went out there and they ran into somebody and like they have like dinosaur bones out there you can find.
Yeah, Utah and Arizona's full of it, man. You're surprised, but it's full of dinosaur artifacts like footprints and bones and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be rad. Oh.
Yeah,
I'll add that to the list. I always say, okay, well, we'll do that next year. But then there's like always a ton of other trips, and it's like.
It's going to come a point where there is no next year. You know what I mean?
I know.
So we got to do
Just go, bro. Like I'm driving up to the snow right now.
Going out right now. It's like, what's our excuse?
I'll get done. I'm gonna go grocery shopping. It'll be like 11:30. I'll take off.
That's life.
So wait, where are you going in the snow?
I'm trying to try to make my way to Bishop.
Oh, that's right. You're going to Bishop.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to
play in the snow.
It's a blizzard in, man. It's time to go check some stuff out.
Go play.
You going solo?
Oh, wife and kid.
Yeah.
I was like, well, because they're not here. And I was like, wait, are you going to
No,
go?
I'm gonna hit the grocery store up on the way home and then
grab
load
some-
up the.
Are they on the way?
No.
Well, the house is, yeah.
Yeah, the house is on the way.
Yeah.
You know, pick them up on the way up and
And go.
roll.
Well, the thing is, you have to wait until after 8 o'clock anyway because of traffic.
True.
Yeah.
So you either leave at 2 in the
a
afternoon
Friday.
or 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. If not, you're spending 3 hours just getting through.
There's a lot of people going up to Mammoth right now because
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
snow. So watch out. Be
But
safe.
the 395 is like closed. Oh, I said Pearsonville. I think that's what my buddy said.
Oh.
So you're
It
just
could
going to
be,
go
yeah.
till it ends.
Nah, there's
like-
there's dirt roads everywhere, bro. That's what the good thing. Once you like, if there was ever I want to live in Phelan because strategically thinking, there's choke points. The 91's a
starting
choke
out
point, the
point,
5's
yeah.
a choke point. So if you want to escape civilization, if something bad happens,
Yeah.
as long as you're up that 15, like Victorville side, bro, you can go anywhere in the world you want.
True.
You're solid.
Yeah, you're wide open.
You're
after
wide
that,
open.
yeah.
So that's kind of like the last choke point to escape the crowds. So that's where I want to make my compound is up there, like the Phelan side.
Smart. I like it. Right.
We're not paranoid.
No. Not at all.
Man, with the way the world's going lately, it's like,
I'm
hey,
telling you,
not a
man.
bad idea, you know?
Because if you live on this side, so I'm at work and something bad happens, I have to go retrieve my family and then make it out. Versus if they're already up there, they can hold down the fort and I'll be there eventually.
Yeah, you'll find a way.
Yeah, I'll find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were talking to Mad Yeti last week, and he was talking about, hey, man, I got fuel, I got 4-wheel drive and a gun and some canned food. We're good.
I'll make my way.
I'll make my way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, but
Have you ever thought about like switching to go? I mean, you're pretty much on the road almost all the time. You ever thought about doing the whole full time?
I did. There
you
was
want
one
to
period of
have
my
that
life where I
base
did.
camp?
I did like an RV living for
When
about a
you're
year.
younger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was not younger. I was like in my 30s.
No,
I
younger, fuck.
I mean, younger. But yeah, I did like a year in the RV, and I just traveled all over the place and did that.
rad.
Yeah, it was rad. It was a good time. All up the coast, like the Oregon stuff, and like Yellowstone and back.
see, I want to do that.
Yeah,
that
doing
sounds
that
awesome.
this
Bro, as soon as you
summer.
cross the San Francisco, the bridge, and you just bang a left and hit the coast, it looks
beautiful.
like it's insane. It looks like a whole different place up there. And there's plenty of boondocking spots you can camp on the cliffs, and that was nice.
Yeah, I need to get better on figuring out like where I'm allowed to camp because there's so many rules and you have to follow them. Otherwise, you'll get fined or get.
California's bad. California, they love their gates.
Yeah.
They love their gates, man. Everything's got a gate on it. Whereas like Nevada's not too bad about gates. They have gates in Arizona, but they're all like cattle gates. You just
just
shut
open
it, please.
Make sure you close it behind you.
Yeah, very rarely do you come across like you can't get past their gates.
Padlocked up.
Yeah.
And
That's California loves it. They gate everything. Like you try to plan a route in California, you're gonna hit a gate. Yeah, so that's California.
It's hit or miss. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I like most of my big adventures being like Arizona and Utah's. Oh, Utah's a great state, and then Nevada.
Yeah, I need to. There is the Dewey Humboldt up to the Grand Canyon. There's like an all off-road trail that goes all the way from there. Dewey Humboldt is south of Sedona.
Yeah. See,
South of Sedona.
doesn't that roll all the way up from like the 8 freeway?
I can see that. Yeah.
No, well, this one
Or
is
is that a different route we were
that's
talking
probably
about
a different route, but this one is actually from kind of like Prescott Valley area, and then like you're crossing over to the 17. You'll hit Dewey Humboldt.
Oh, okay.
And then you basically
Due north, right?
Yeah, you just go straight north, and it's all off road. Takes about 3 days. Taking your time and
Right.
enjoying the scenery,
enjoying
especially
it,
during
yeah.
like spring. There's like a super bloom and everything else. So I kind of want to do it this year, and I'm like,
I mean,
Do
right
it.
now,
it's already like
it.
almost March.
yeah.
I just don't have a lot of time off of work because I started a new job not that long ago.
Yeah,
But
this is the time to do it. Like you're saying, super bloom.
yeah, well, I mean, I could probably make it happen in May, and so, but I also wanted to go to Overland Expo West. So I was thinking if I could time it right,
I
I could,
Arizona.
yeah, I could take it on up and kind of make it happen. So,
Two birds, one stone, man.
Yeah.
That's usually how I would plan it because I'll want to do like an expo or something, so I'll plan a trip around that. But
Right,
I'll
you do a
expo
day
for a day.
Yeah,
I've seen
more
it
than
all.
a day. Come on, you gonna see the same tire parts.
Yeah, just one day. Is
Yeah, one day's good.
Just
Mostly
say
just
hi.
like at the meetup, like all your buddies are all there.
Yeah, it's
so
a socialized thing more than
Yeah.
else. But man, it's so far away though, because I have friends we had the same discussion. Like, if I'm driving 8 hours to go hang out with people, let's go camping, and then we go there for a little bit, and then
Yeah, like we
We'll
don't
find some
we don't
place to do
camp at the expo. Like we'll like when we go to the Flagstaff one, we'll go camp at Schnebley or Munns Park or or Flagstaff or Williams somewhere. But yeah, you only spend a day at the expo. Like we're gonna do the not the Mountain West, the the one in Oregon this year.
Okay.
Pacific Coast.
Pacific Coast.
Oregon's got some. Yeah, that's next on my list. My termination of my Mexico to Canada route goes through Oregon and then Idaho and Montana. And Oregon's got some rad places in it too, the eastern side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was actually planning on making this summer the summer that I wanted to go up to Idaho and meet my new family members I found on Ancestry.com.
Nice.
And obviously I'm having my son in July now, so it's kind of like a little bit
kiboshed that a little bit.
Yeah,
but
kind of kiboshed all that.
Give him 2 months, he's good.
Yeah, right.
2 months. I'm
'cause
telling
you
you,
just
bro.
had a
2 months, dude. Listen, this is my theory, right? They pushed west with newborns. There's Oregon Trail. There was kids were born, so that could be all right.
You know, they died of dysentery.
But,
Yeah, it's all right. As long as you know more about dysentery, and then
Well, yeah, but my thing is my family doesn't really go camping, so like I'd have to leave them and my wife with 2 daughters and a new baby and 2 new puppies.
Yeah.
It would just
It'd
be
be
way
bad.
too much.
that's a lot of cargo. Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing, but
That's a lot of
weight.
cargo.
A lot to
That's
ask.
a lot
Yeah,
of
we
weight.
just have 1 kid, so it's a lot of stuff. Just 1 kid.
Yeah, you
How
gotta
old's
pack
your
all
kid?
that extra stuff.
She's a year and a half.
Year and a half old?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You started her young, right?
Yeah, she's got about 6,000 miles of trail on her.
I tell people all the time, like my daughter, like I've been dragging her since she was like 4. She's 10 now, and like she's got more overland cred than a lot of these people, dude.
They don't know. They only know what you show them. They don't know any different.
Yeah.
They think they're supposed to be cold. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, she knows the routine when we get to camp. She knows how it all goes down, Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I was the first when she was maybe 2 months old, and it was probably 40 degrees out. We're tent camping, and I had because you can't cover them up too much. You get worried about them like suffocating.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I brought the little bassinet thing with us that set on the floor, and I had her kind of wrapped up, and I had the what's the damn heaters called?
Little buddy.
Mr. Buddy.
Yeah, the buddy heaters.
Yeah.
I had it going, and it was the smaller one, and I had it turned towards her, but I didn't want to roast her like a chicken.
Right.
Too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, little roasted going in there.
Like she's like half cooked on one side. So I slept. I slept on top of the covers just in my t-shirt and shorts. So I figured if I got cold, she'd already be cold.
Yeah,
that was
you could tell.
That was my theory behind it. And it was fine. It worked out. And I got a little carbon monoxide detector and set by her. So
Oh, smart. Yeah.
I know if
And you go beep 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 beep. beep.
Yeah, it'll wake up.
Wake you up.
So, how do you normally ground tent or?
No, man, I've done every phase other than trailer. So I started originally. I usually if I go by myself, I sleep in the front seat.
Oh, you just
How do
pass
you
out,
even
right?
do that?
Dude,
Lean it back. And
Yeah, lean it back and go, man. That's
crash
it.
out. Been driving a long time. You're tired.
Yeah, because I grew up in the Marine Corps where we slept in like not ideal conditions. So I've been kind of accustomed to it. But I don't like being too comfortable because I don't like getting up in the morning.
Oh yeah, if you're too comfy, you don't want.
Dude, I won't get up. So I have to get up early. If I'm waking up every 2 to 3 hours because I need to switch sides or I'm freezing, that's perfect for me.
You're fine with that. Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay.
hate waking up in the middle of the night.
Dude, that's why in the morning when 6:30 comes around, I'm like, screw it, I'm awake.
That's how I am. Like I'll wake up a
Yeah,
few
but don't you
times
feel
throughout the
shitty
night.
for the rest of the day?
Nah, dude.
And then like
I think I just feel shitty all the time. So it's normal.
yeah, it's a regular. Even during the day, I'm like shit.
That's why I never go to a chiropractor. They say you feel so good afterwards. I'm like, bro, I don't know what that feels like. Then this will be my normal.
Yeah, your baseline's low.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, now Jared's up in his high life 4-wheel
Oh, yeah.
camper.
Oh, that's solid, bro.
We're cushy up in there. But,
That's
yeah.
good.
But like you
It's
said,
convenient.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so convenient.
Yeah, but I mean, we paid our dues. I've ground tent,
I hate the ground tent,
forever, and then, and we lived in the rooftop tent for freaking last 3 years. And
The rooftop tent was good.
It's the setup of it's not bad.
Yeah.
Like I had a front runner run. Like the tent itself was great. However, for me, being on like that LR3 since it was so high,
Oh, yeah.
you have to climb. The setting up is no big deal. You unzip it, it folds out, it's solid, right? But when you go to tear it down, I have to climb on top of it,
Oh, yeah.
tuck it, tuck all the little skin in, and then zip it up. And so I hated doing that. And then so I did that for a while, and then I got rid of my rooftop tent, and then I pulled the seats out of my Land Rover, and so I took out the middle rows. So there's only had the front 2 seats for me and my wife. And I put a refrigerator there, and I built a platform where we have a bed in the back, and you just crawl into bed. And then sometimes in the morning, I get up, take photos. My wife still can be sleeping, and I just drive away with her sleeping in the back. And yeah, she's still in bed.
Perfect, hey?
Yeah, she's still in bed. Yeah.
Nice.
What about the baby though?
So with the kids,
That's
so that was the first thing. So I had to figure out a plan B. So when she was brand new, we couldn't sleep with her because we'd suffocate her, right? So that's why I did one of those Oz tents.
Okay.
Yeah, so like an Oz tent, which was fine. And then I ended up getting, I did that for a while. And then I bought this, what's it, a Yukon? I think it's a Yukon. This thing was like made for like cattle drivers. The thing's badass.
Canvas.
It's all canvas. It can take like 70-mile-an-hour winds. It's huge. It's like
That's a lot to pack.
it's not terrible if it goes on the roof rack. And there's no poles other than the one that goes through it, and it's all. I just use a impact driver to just put the bolts in the ground.
But they lag,
The lag bolts. Yeah. And so I used that, and I had it was actually nice because once you set it up, because I had a full size air mattress in there, and then had a table and everything. But it's way more setup than I like doing.
Yeah.
And now the kid's like non-crushable age. We just sleep in the back of the truck. I lay the seats flat, and she's between me and the wife.
Yeah, but like she obviously has a car seat.
Yeah, I just put it in the front seat. So I'll take the car seat out. So it's it's a huge pain in the ass.
So you leave the seats in it, but you fold them down.
Yeah. So the beauty of the LR3 and the Sports, the seats full flush.
Yeah.
And as long as you're
the Disco wouldn't, they would kind of be elevated.
Yeah.
right. They roll forward. So that's the beauty of those. They full flush, and as long as you're not over 6 feet, it's perfect length. And like a twin size air mattress fits right back there. So now I just pull. I have everything in like boxes. I set the boxes on the deck. I take the fridge out, set it on top of the boxes, and then I just make the bed in the back. It is the most unideal situation. I hate it.
Make it work, you know?
Yeah, because you got this. I hate, like, once again, I'm talking about low maintenance. I hate, why do you think I sleep in the front seat, man? When I'm by myself, I'm like, this is good enough.
Made it to camp.
Yep, that's it, bro. In the morning, I'm not packing anything away. I'm ready to go. Because even when I slept in for that New Year's trip, it was -5, and I just slept in the front seat.
Oh, man.
I just
Doesn't it get cold in there, though?
I was gonna say.
So I was testing a theory I had. I wouldn't say I'm a survivalist or doomsday prepper, but I'm definitely. I mean, I lean that way.
Yeah. I like to be prepared.
He's like on the show alone.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, okay, so if you ever broke down your car and you like, how can you sleep most effectively? So the idea is you want to close the amount of space you have. You want to heat all this air up.
Yep.
So I just lean my seat back and I put one of the blankets that cover the windshield and I made like a little box around me with blankets. So I only heat up my little area, and it was fine. I slept pretty well that night.
That's good.
Yeah, and the thing I screwed up on though, because I had a buddy heater that I was going to turn on in the morning, like to heat the car to get up, But I forgot those little green bottles.
Yeah,
the propane.
If they get below 25 degrees, they don't freaking work.
Nope.
Yeah.
And I forgot to put one with me, so there was no starting starting the heat in the morning. I just had to make do.
You're like, time to wake up.
Time to wake up.
Get on the road.
There's ice all over the windows.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I tried sleeping in my front seat and it was miserable.
I've done it a few times, like when I was but I would be working job sites and stuff like that when I worked in the field, and like I'd get off a job at midnight or something, and I got to be out on another job site at 5 a.m. I'm like, I'm not going to spend 2 hours driving home and then another 2 hours back to a job site. I'll just crash out on the job site, and I had a single cab pickup truck, and I just fucking crashed out in there, made it work.
Jeez.
It was the most comfortable thing in the world.
The seats in the LR3 and the Sport, they fold. They go flat.
Yeah,
they go pretty much flat. They'll touch the back seat. They go so flat. So and we were doing. Me and the wife were meeting. We were starting that 600-mile Utah trip, and she's like, "Are we gonna stay in a hotel before we get there? Because it's like 10. I think 10 hours to get there." I'm like, "Yeah, we'll stay in a hotel." We ended up sleeping just in the parking lot because I was doing the math.
We were at the hotel.
Yeah, I'm like, it was in a hotel parking lot. I was close enough, right, babe? Because we only had 2. We only had 2 hours.
We slept at a hotel.
Yeah,
technically,
it's not in a hotel.
Like a
Get
room?
more specific.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, there's the sign.
Details.
Words matter.
We had 2 hours. You do the math. The Google directions will tell you it takes 10 hours to get there. Well, I had 12 hours before we had to meet, so I'm like, it means we have 2 hours of sleep, babe. So here's the sleeping spot.
Well, if you have like a gym membership for like an LA Fitness or a 24-hour fitness, you can always just go in and take a shower.
Take a shower if you need. But
Exactly.
In the city, and then
Even like truck stops. Man, I've done truck stop bathrooms.
Yeah, $10 shower.
Yeah, and just bring your flip flops just in case.
Oh yeah. Not just in case, like for sure. Yeah. I would definitely not go barefoot. I mean, those truck stops actually keep them clean.
Yeah, they're really clean.
Actually really
They're actually
nice.
super clean.
Yeah, they're really
nice.
nice.
Yeah,
So I've showered there before.
Yeah, probably have a sauna in them.
And then I did one time we were on that same trip. I had one of those road showers, which they used to be their own company. I think Yakima bought them now. You know, the road showers that go on the roof. Yeah. So I had one of those, and we were day 4 or 5, whatever. My wife was like feeling grimy. I'm like, babe, so I just found it was warm outside too, and I just found like a big flat rock and we just took a shower outside. And it was great. Showering
he
outside is
loves
awesome.
showering outside.
I have multiple shower apparatuses, hot showers, cold showers, depending on the temperature.
Yeah, for sure. It's
I'm
nice.
usually pretty good with but after 4 days, I'm pretty ripe. That's when I'm okay, I can use a
Your
shower.
skin starts sticking together and stuff. Oh, I hate that.
So, I like talking about tolerance levels. The longest I've ever been without a shower is 53 days.
Holy shit!
Oh,
that was the
in
Marine Corps,
Iraq.
Yeah, yeah. I was used to do balls, butt, and face, and armpits, but not in that order or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and
Face
that's
first.
It. Yeah, but yeah, it was 53 days. And that first shower felt good.
Oh,
it
I
felt
can
good.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, you're also doing hard labor out there. You're sweating. You're gross.
Everything's dusty, so it just sticks to you. Yeah.
But not to toot my own horn. I have a pleasant odor.
Says the guy smelling himself.
I'm telling you,
let you be the judge of that.
I'm telling you, I have a pleasant odor. I didn't really stink. We had one guy.
We'll ask your wife to verify.
I'm telling you, I don't stink. You find my old shirts that've been laying around, I don't smell. But we had one buddy, bro, he was ripe. It was you're supposed to your olfactory sensors in your nose after 20 minutes start ignoring smells.
Yeah.
His smell just must be changing
Doesn't
every
even
20
matter.
minutes because he did not improve at all.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there's shower pouches too. So that's your first stop. It's like
baby wipe bath.
Baby wipes,
Yeah,
the shower pouches, yeah.
Baby wipe, shower pouches. But then if you're going on a 6-day thing, then you kind of want to bring extra water to get a hot shower.
Yeah, it definitely feels a lot better. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll bring out the Zodi, and heat up the water. You've taken a shower.
Oh,
with
yeah,
that.
it
It's
felt good.
glorious.
Oh, I bet.
In the middle of the pines, you're just taking this hot shower out in the
super
open.
nice.
Yeah, it's glorious.
How do you? What's your cooking style like?
Ooh.
I mean, probably had enough MREs, so you're not into
once
the
again,
whole freeze dried.
I hate
Mountain
anything.
house.
I like exploring. Everything else is just I have to put up with it because it's part of it, which is cooking is one thing. I'll eat whatever's the easiest. If it's just beef jerky and cake, that's all I eat.
I'm 100%. He loves it's all about the food and stuff like that. But I'm whatever.
I'm not a good cook.
Me either.
And I don't like cleaning all this stuff up. So if it can be made in a jet boil, I usually don't eat it.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things you can make in the jet
Yeah,
boil.
because you could take those frozen, those frozen meals, not the frozen meals, the bag
Freeze-dried
meals.
ones. Yeah, we just did those the other night.
It's vegetables and
Mountain House.
pasta. Not even that. I just go the Ralph's version. So you got the pasta and the vegetables that it's one pot. You just got to heat it up. So we'll just take one pot and we'll heat that up and use that. So it's kind of like a good meal. I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah.
Good, healthy.
Yeah. So
Scrumptious.
if not that, it's top ramen and sandwiches.
Oh,
yeah, man. I mean, sandwiches,
Simple,
you can't beat
less
them.
you
I
gotta
love
pack.
sandwiches.
Yeah. Then that's the thing about the sprinter trips, man. I eat like a freaking king, man.
Right.
Steven, man, he cooks beef stroganoff and it's all, bro. He's got dessert and the breakfast is these French toast things. I'm like, man, this is way better.
He should come to the greatest overland cook-off
right. We're talking about
competition.
Dude,
We're doing that.
Him and his wife cooked lunch so it was, we were at a place called Diana's Punch Bowl in Middle Nevada, if you know where that is. It's this big geological thermal bowl of water. It's 160 degrees. And we were there New Year's. It was 15 degrees with a 20-mile-an-hour wind. And they made lunch for everybody. And it was good.
Man.
And dude, yeah, they're solid.
Well,
spot,
we're gonna actually go forward with this whole cook-off competition. Oh, I am.
All right.
I do it. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's good.
Everybody always talks about how they're the best overland cook and everything else. I want you to prove it.
But but you have to do it with not ideal conditions.
No, that's exactly
Yeah, in the middle of a rainstorm with 40-mile-an-hour winds, what you can put out.
Still,
And it's got to be in the middle of nowhere. We can't do it just
I'll be
like
putting out
a
crackers
Rigs and
and-
Brews because they're like, oh, I forgot an ingredient. I'll just go down the street.
Exactly.
No, you got to be out.
You got to adapt
After
and
2 or 3
overcome.
days of trail riding where everything's jumbled around and your refrigerator come unplugged or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like,
Let's see you
I'm
throw
definitely
something
not
together
judging
now.
that one then. Yeah, no, we were talking about it on our last podcast, and it sounds like a fun idea.
Yeah, it sounds good.
It's not original or unique or anything like that, but because we've been to some cook-off things at the Olaf event and everything else. But I just want to get a good group of people together that claim to be great chefs, camp chefs, and just see what they come up with, man.
I've even
Do a potluck at the end.
A lot of the meals at camp, not when I'm cooking, but when I'm with other people,
Right.
the meals are better than when I eat at home.
for sure. Yeah.
Like, holy
100%.
crap, people go all out.
Yeah, they cook some good meals. I mean, Yeah, I'm definitely the guy that like, oh, thanks for writing me up. Thanks.
I got my plate.
Yeah, like thanks for the invite.
Yeah,
like,
he's the scavenger.
yeah, I scavenger for sure.
100%, dude. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, thank you.
I got some beer.
They're like,
I'll
yeah,
donate
exactly. I'll bring
that,
enough beer for everybody.
Yeah, my favorite is what are you cooking tonight? Oh, that looks good.
Use
That's
it-
good. Oh, do you want some?
The trick is what you do is, and they're like, oh, so what are you having? I'm like, I'm just eating some uncooked top ramen.
Yeah.
And you give them puppy dog eyes, and they're like, okay, you can have some of this.
Let
Like,
me
oh,
help
thanks.
you out here. Yeah. Get some donations. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me too. So I can't talk crap because like between Herb, Lucas, and Jeff, I was always like,
Oh,
what you
those
got?
guys
What you got cooking over there? It smells real good, man. They start complimenting the chef.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to try it?
Making like pizzas and shit out on trail. You're like, God damn it, dude. I'm over here. Yeah. Like you said, like top ramen in it and shit. And
I usually cook a good steak though. because
Steak. It's easy.
It's steak and salad because you have your salad.
Those
then
bag
you just
salads, you
dice
just
up
kinda-
the steak when you're done cooking it. Throw it on top. It's a steak salad.
That actually is true because we have a midday meal or mid-trip meal that usually we'll bring a steak and then instant mashed potatoes, and
oh, yeah.
those are, I mean, they're enough doing a pinch.
Yeah, I mean,
Delicious.
I've cooked some. There's actually some. I don't know if it's Sam's Club or Costco, but they have like these meals where it's like frozen noodles. It has like some vegetables in it, and what you do is you do that. Then you go buy the pre-cooked chicken breast, like grilled chicken breast. It's already diced up. And then you just throw that in the pan. You heat it all up together, and then you also throw in some broccoli, like some fresh broccoli.
Right.
Cut it all up and throw it in there, all in one thing. Put aluminum foil over the pan. Just let it simmer with a little bit of water, dude.
Like a stir fry.
It's basically like an Asian stir fry, dude.
You're on one pan though.
One pan.
Okay, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
One pan.
Yeah. All the clean. I hate cleanup.
The cleanup, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not for that.
I have those really nice GSI cast iron pans that are like milled out and they're thin, so it's a smooth surface one, and they're amazing, dude. I mean, you've seen them.
We've
You cover them in that aluminum foil to keep the heat in, and so it cooks it a lot faster. And then also the steam is in there, so it cooks the broccoli and makes it softer.
Dude, I had a I was with who was it? American Overland did this. He was cooking on a scuttle, but to avoid cleanup, he just layered it with tinfoil.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
cooked right on it, and then afterwards just peeled the tinfoil off, throw that shit away. You don't have to clean that shit off.
That is
Or that becomes your serving tray.
yeah, basically.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're not a big camp chef.
No, not a camp chef. I sleep in unhospitable conditions. I really don't like exploring. I usually take a vehicle just because it's the most efficient. If it was a horse was a better option, I would take a horse.
Oh shit.
So the idea of exploring is more that's what gets me excited more than anything else.
Where do
new
you
adventures?
Yeah, the adventures. Because the closest you can get to be like Lewis to Clark. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to it's not unexplored land. I'm not delusional. However,
now,
it's still
everything's been explored nowadays, but
Yeah.
you still have that feel of adventure. It's new to you.
Yeah, to the Amazon, bro. I got on this kick about watching these Amazonian documentaries about these rivers and these cities of gold and stuff. And I was like, man, if I win the lottery, that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to die in the Amazon.
Go down, do the whole South America, Pan American, all the way down to the tip and shit.
Yeah.
That'd be rad.
Oh, it'd be a good
make
time.
sure you bring a Hilux diesel for that trip.
Yeah, you got to have I had friends that did it in LR3.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
people just do
Yeah.
like a Land Cruiser, just
Yeah.
a standard. Yeah,
But yeah, that's for sure.
that'd be it's one of those bucket list trips, Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. But there's plenty of stuff in the United States you can go.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's not unexplored. However, there's not a lot of people going out. There's more now than there used to be, just because it's become.
but you're
popular.
on your own and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You're
I mean, I've gone
defending or
hundreds of miles and not seen anybody
Yeah.
else. I mean, our group went hundreds of miles and not seen another vehicle.
Yeah, you gotta be
the entire time.
self-sufficient. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is a trip you have been dying to go on?
So I want to finish the last leg of my Canada trip, which is about another 7 days worth, and then from there go up to I was planning on dunking the kid in the Arctic Ocean for baptism.
Oh, that'd be
for
rad.
her first birthday. I was going to dunk her ass in the water. and then but there was all these Canada had a bunch of regulations going on that didn't allow me to cross their border.
Yeah.
So
I'm right there with you.
yeah,
still.
so once those fade away, and then so we're heading up to Arctic Ocean. She might be a 5-year-old at the time, but she's still getting dunked.
It's like those old. What was that John Wayne movie where the kid's like, I don't know how to swim. He just,
Yeah.
he just like throws him in. Like, oh man.
But I think the kids like the cold.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like even today, she was out playing in the rain today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me
It's
too. I'm in my
freezing.
flip flops, dude.
Yeah,
I'm all bundled up. I'm like taking her to school, and she's like got shorts on. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like freezing outside.
She hangs her head out the window like a Labrador.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be like 30 degrees outside. And she's just having
Loving
a
it.
blast.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd rather be cold than hot.
just layer up.
Well, to an extent, like I don't want to be stuck on the side of the road with a broken down rig and like ice conditions,
No way
blizzard.
of,
There's
getting
no
warm,
way.
yeah.
I wouldn't like that. But what I'm saying is like if I'm on like a nice little camping trip, I'd rather be a little bit more
like
cold
correct.
than
Yeah, 'cause
hot.
it's easier to manage the cold by layers.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Layers
have a
and
fire going
Mr.
or
Buddy Heater's
something,
fires.
and
Yeah.
And the heat's hard to escape.
Yeah,
And then
It
everything
doesn't
above
matter.
100 just gets every degree is exponentially hotter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like a difference between 100 and 105 is like insanely hot.
Yeah. And then once you get to like 115, it just
You're like,
it's
you're
fucking hot.
This
It's
stupid.
just- like everything's just
Take my life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh well. I mean, do you have any other questions for him?
Yeah, let me think. Yeah, I mean, you're going out fucking tonight. Shit.
Yeah,
I'm
tonight.
fucking
The plan is
Well,
to-
that's why I was like trying to like let him go.
Yeah, true. I know. Fuck. Yeah, so we won't keep you too late. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we touched on a bunch of stuff.
main thing, my main thing for for people who start this is like you don't have to have all
Any
the
advice?
crazy. You don't have to have all the crazy gear.
You don't
Yeah.
have to have a tent in your case. You just sleep in the front seat.
You don't. You just need and like your truck. If you buy a 4-wheel drive truck and it's good tires, it's been engineered to go off road. You'll be fine.
can take some.
Yeah, you just kind of measure your distance and a little bit depending on your skill level
Plan
and
your
your
trip out a
supplies.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So, but everybody's got to start at something. Everybody's first 4-wheel drive trip is up to Santiago Peak. If you're up from out here, that's like
Mine was Cleghorn, but similar.
yeah, it's the same concept,
Hey,
right?
there's
And then
snow
you
there
just
right now.
expand from there, and you learn, and you go with somebody that's been doing it a while, or if you can get in a group or a club or anything, that's always a good idea.
It's just getting out there.
Just getting out there and you experience
And you know what your limits are.
know what your
test
limits
yourself
are.
out,
Yeah, and yeah,
What gear you need. This works,
yeah.
that
Don't try to
doesn't.
buy everything up the front. Yeah, you'll come to it. You need some basic stuff, but like recovery wise, you just need. I would say you can get a snatch strap. It's fine if your budget doesn't allow like a kinetic rope. They work. They're just not. They won't work as well. And then have at least 2 hard shackles and 2 soft shackles, and then I usually bring an extra receiver hitch because people will come by that can pull you out, but they won't have any way to pull you out. So if you bring your own receiver hitch for their trailer hitch and you just plug it in, you
Drop it in there.
Yeah.
Well, if they have a pin, you can wrap around the toe strap on it.
depending on
pin in there.
the pin method where it goes
Yeah.
through it. Once again, there's rated and unrated.
breaking
That falls
point
under
of
the
that,
unrated
yeah.
category where depending on how stuck you are and if you're lower in the experience level, you might overestimate the situation or underestimate it, I would say. At least with the mounted one, it's a rated mount. You can handle it.
But isn't the pin like the linch pin anyways? Like, isn't that going to be your breaking point?
It's because it depends on your strap
on the
pulls. Because
receiver.
if the strap's wide enough, it should put the stress on the walls of the pin versus not the middle. Because if you're thinking
Yeah.
you're pulling, so it pulls like towards like the middle more. Whereas like when you have the insert, it's pulling directly
On
it's
the
got
walls of it
the walls
versus-
versus just like
yeah.
in the middle side. So that's kind of something you got to look out for. So it knocks the rating down a little bit. Like what percentage wise, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it does knock it down a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's not ideal, but I was
not-
just saying,
but
like
yeah.
in a pinch, like,
In a
you can
pinch,
make
yeah.
something
Something,
happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah, just get out there and
Just get out there and play, man.
Yeah, find some friends. Go
Throw
do
your
it.
kid in ice cold water, dude.
Yeah, throw them in. Listen, they'll be fine. Just heat them up afterwards.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, it's pretty rad. You want to go to plugs?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Got any? I'm going. Where am I going tomorrow? Oh,
You're going to that meetup.
yeah. CBI Off Road's doing their meetup
Peak
in
Suspension.
Riverside and Peak. So we're gonna go head out up there.
I wish I could go. I'm going to my plug's King Tut Museum in LA. That's what I'm doing tomorrow.
Yep, get out and explore.
I've actually already done that museum. It's my daughter. She just learned about all like the Egyptian.
that's
Oh,
good,
so she's all
though.
fired up about it.
Yeah.
So
All
she's
fresh.
super artsy creative, and she took one of those blocks of soap and she carved out like the Sphinx or whatever.
That's bad.
Yeah, and she did an amazing job. I was like, "How did you do that?" Took her like 10 blocks of soap, but
Fortune
she got
and
it
soap.
down, dude.
Hey, you got soap for days now.
Yeah, and so I guess we bought tickets. We're gonna go out to the LA thing.
Rad.
What were we were just talking about the other day that we need to mention because it's gonna be the following weekend.
What's this? Oh, like an event?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. You're the event guy.
I can never remember anything. God damn. Why you put me in charge of that?
Well, here's what I will say.
Yeah.
We just went to an event at Garage 79. And
they got snow up there.
dude, it was like hot on Sunday. Like Neil Skis was like, I mean, I was in a t-shirt and pants, but he was in shorts and a t-shirt riding his e-bike around and everything. Just yesterday, they posted a photo and there was like 5 inches of snow over there. It was insane.
Yeah.
And just on Sunday, it was like super hot, and they took all these photos of like the beers like in the ice,
in the snow,
in the snow and
That's
everything.
rad.
It was really cool. But that's like the event that I was thinking of. But you know, what you got, Jared?
I'm trying to think. It was on the is it Rig Fest?
Maybe, I don't know what event you're thinking of.
It might be. Yeah. Oh, it is. Okay, yeah, because this is going to come out next Friday. The 10th and the 11th is Rig Fest in Lasertown. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, you're probably fucking too late because it's tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
Or the weekend.
based on
Yeah.
this, I was like, wait, I still have time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, but based on when this episode will come out, actually no, it'll be a week from this.
So
when you're
2 weeks
listening to
from
this,
now,
will be the 3rd, and so the following week. So if you haven't got your tickets to Rig Fest yet in Lasertown, come hang out with us. It'll be a good time. A lot of vendors, raffles, giveaways, good food.
Jesse Arc Trooper, be there.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, try and join us out there. It'll be a good time. So that was my plug. I remembered it now. Fuck, I'm so bad
Do you
with
have any
that shit.
plugs?
Yeah, so my website, XpeditionAcademy.com. So it's with the X, no E, and then sprinter.overland.trip.com. So
Okay.
if you have a Sprinter van and you not sure where you can go or what your capabilities are, we cater to all skill levels. And it's a well put together trip.
Right, yeah, I know. Buddy Frankie Mott, he just bought a Sprinter van. He's building up. My buddy Adam's got a Sprinter van. I'll let them all know. I mean, they already go out wheeling and stuff. But yeah, it'd be fun to.
It's good. Group. They always
That's
good
what I
group
mean.
of
It's
people,
good
man. It's
to
good
get
community wise,
with.
and you see a bunch of different versions of vans that you might want to draw something from their ideas of how they did things.
Yeah, no, I love going to those things just because you get like, oh, I love how you did that. How did you do that shit? And then, like, you get ideas.
Yeah, the trip and the routes all planned, and we have maintenance, medical, all that stuff taken care of, and then food. So you just got to show up and enjoy yourself. That's it.
That sounds awesome. Yeah. It sounds awesome. I need a Sprinter van now.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Well, we were talking about earlier. We gotta make that happen.
yeah, well, Xpedition Academy. That's not necessarily Sprinter van. So
no, the Xpedition Academy, it's just for tips and learning, and then also my my own like week long 5 to 1,000 mile ML and nowhere trips.
Yeah.
If you want to go, I do a subscribe, and then I shoot an email out, and then if you respond fast enough, then you.
That's Xpedition Academy.
Expedition Academy, yeah.
Okay.
rad.
I'll have to go sign up.
I might have to send you an email. I want to go on some of these rad trips. Somebody who knows the area and can show us around. That's always really fun. Like I've gone out with other people and stuff like that, and it's nice when it's something that they've done before, or they like my buddy Nick with Rogue Overland, he plans out these trips and he knows all the history behind them.
Right.
So the whole time you're on the radio and he's like, so over here and this is why this is this, and like explaining the lay of the land and what's going on, what we're seeing, and so all these like the guided and inclusive trips and stuff are actually really rad. I mean, it's fun to go out on your own, just find shit and explore. But if you got somebody like explaining everything to you and showing you all these rad little like POIs and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's stuff that I went through areas that I went through with other people later on, and I didn't know something was there, even though I do research. It's just, you can't know everything.
Yeah, like Mojave and Death Valley. There's so many things out there to explore. Like you might not know all of them, but I found some hidden gems that people are like, dude, check this out over here. I'm like, what? I had no idea this was here.
Yeah. Well, I guess that gets into my plug. Because I was going to plug the Olaf event for Goffs.
Oh, yeah. He's got a new one coming up.
Yeah, he's got a new one coming up. So we posted about it. I'll post again about it. But check out Olaf events. And I plan on being at the Goffs one.
Yeah.
So
that'd be a fun one because it's like good for kids because they do like.
They didn't have a lot of people that went. There was only like, I don't know, like 20, 30 people that went the last time. And they had a blast.
Yeah.
They had like a forging class. They had like all this cool stuff.
Yeah, a bunch of classes and stuff like that. Yeah,
man.
classes, and I think they had like a like gold panning
Yep.
one, and
That's
stuff
rad.
like that. Yeah,
Everybody's like, oh, I can do Mojave myself or whatever, but like this is a total experience, so I would definitely sign up for
and
this
it's great
one.
with like the kids because it's like family friendly and stuff
Right.
like that. So get the kids interested, because that's what's hard with like parents and stuff. Because like the kids get so bored sometimes when they're a little bit older.
For sure.
You know, it's like, what do I do now? I don't have a tablet.
Yeah, because like saying like our sprinter trips, half the people have families,
Yeah.
and all the kids play together,
Yeah,
and they
there's a
make their
bunch
own
of
like
kids.
little friend group from there, and they'll like dig holes and all
they
that
go
kind
off
of
on
cool
their own,
stuff.
do stuff, and leave the parents alone so we can enjoy our time.
Exactly right.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm planning on going to the Goffs one for the Olaf events. Just check it out.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I'm hoping to bring my daughters because now that my wife's having another baby, she's gonna be kind of wrapped up in
She'll be
that.
busy with
And I'm
the kid.
hoping that I can get my daughters out because historically it's just been like my wife and the two daughters, and they kind of like do their own thing. But now she's gonna have a new baby, and so hopefully I get some
Attention will be on
Yeah,
the baby.
Yeah,
and
give
you
her a
can-
break from the older kids.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Because I mean, like when I bring my daughters out, they have a blast.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's such a
It's
good
just
time
getting them out.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And because they don't even care about their phones or tablets or
Oh yeah,
TV.
once they're
it's-
out there, they're
dude,
climbing rocks.
So
and-
awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, let me
So-
know. I'll definitely. I mean, obviously Zoe pretty much goes everywhere with me, but yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
It'll be
make
a
it
fun
so
one.
like nobody's allowed to bring their tablet.
Sorry, no service.
Like no, be a
Yeah.
true camper.
Yeah.
Enjoy the fire.
Yeah.
Make some s'mores. Do your thing.
Right.
Yep.
So play with your flashlights.
Yeah.
Yeah, like give them like the little walkie talkies. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Oh
kids
yeah,
love that.
Cheap
we have all that
little-
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. So that's my plug.
Nice.
Olaf events, Goffs.
Cool.
All right. Well,
All right. Well, yeah. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to
No,
throw
man,
out?
that's it, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It was nice talking with you guys.
Yeah, glad
you
you came
too.
out. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you out on some trails. I want to
For sure.
go on some of those adventures.
Yeah,
man.
dude, finished coming with the Oregon and Idaho and Montana, bro.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm
good
going.
one.
I'm going to Oregon in July. So we're gonna go up the coast, hit Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and then come back down.
This will be 7 days of no.
Yeah. Well, I
nowhere.
took off 11 days.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah.
Because it's far.
Yeah.
It's far.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, you're gonna spend a whole day just
getting
riding.
there, yeah.
So
Getting home.
$1,000 in gas. Just
Oh, dude, yeah, the gas. No, don't start me on that gas thing. Oh, man.
shit.
yeah. Well, we'll cry about that later.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay.
But yeah, appreciate it, man. Have fun tonight. Heading
Be
up to
safe.
Yeah, for sure.
395 and be safe. Hope you don't
Yeah,
get stuck.
for sure.
You know, I mean, I think you're prepared if you do.
Yeah, I
get
guess
stuck.
I get, the storm's what, 2 days? I got wait it out 2 days. That's it.
Sleep in the front seat.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
I got the buddy heater. So
All right.
awesome, man. Well, yeah, thanks for joining us. Thank you everybody for tuning in and hanging out with us tonight as well. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Cool.